I'm not very worried about information security like that, like people stealing my ideas, quote unquote, or something, or our ideas. That to me seems like ridiculous because nobody's ever going to be able to execute a stolen idea
You're
better
not
than,
talking.
huh? Oh, I'm
Can
not. I've
you?
never been somebody who's worried about ideas being stolen, really, in that sense, because my thinking is nobody's ever going to be able to execute a stolen idea better than the person they stole the idea from, unless it's a invention of some kind. You
It
know?
is that the ideas that I have are inventions for
Oh,
YouTube.
they're inventions. Okay, well that's a good thing.
Think of it.
Okay, well let's not have
No,
them
I think
sold.
it's just
I don't know.
Uh,
maybe it's just an INTP thing of saying the things you think that could be ideas. Like I also don't share my ideas. I rarely do, even
yeah.
though that I never do them.
Like I think Milk Lab is extremely profitable potentially, but I have no problem spreading the word about the idea because I don't really believe anybody else could do it properly, and I I'm hopeful that
Yeah, but it,
there'll be some sort of even if somebody did, I'd rather see it done than not done.
For your ideas, yeah, but my ideas potentially useful, I guess. I don't want someone else using them improperly.
Okay. I mean,
but even
I
if
think
someone
Milk Lab's
cannot,
useful.
if someone can, even if someone cannot do them as the person who thought about these ideas in the first place, but once they get started with them and they have like a product or something, then the
Yeah,
person who came up with the idea will be discouraged. He say
yeah,
like, well, it's already out there and this and that,
definitely.
and
Yeah.
they're already many steps ahead of me. Even if I start doing it now, and it will be perfect, but
It puts
like they
pressure on
already,
you. Like,
yeah,
people can
you
put
make
pressure on.
you forget about it or something.
I don't know, I think INTPs are just paranoid in that way. But
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I think too. Is you guys are paranoid because I mean I don't think there's a class of people out there who are searching the internet for good ideas to steal that they can use.
but they might propagate them. Like I think if somebody writes a really good idea, I actually do propagate that to my friends. And so, like, if it's actually a well-structured, well-reasoned, good idea that can actually be applied, then you've got to worry because somebody might actually do something like it or put pressure on you. Um,
Yeah, they do pressure you to do it. Like I had this idea for a product and I told it to my EST friend.
you're cutting out casual.
He was like asking me, "What do you-" it's like they do.
We
Can
can't
you hear
hear
me?
anything, yo. You're all garbly.
Yeah,
You
your
you
connection is
you
bad.
replied in private to me there, Barry.
Yeah, oh yeah, sorry.
FYI.
It, it doesn't matter now.
Yeah. So I mean, I get the fact that that can happen, but it's like I mean, it has to be an awfully precise idea that can be
Yeah,
can for it to be really a risk, in my opinion. I don't like intellectual property as a general notion. I don't think.
I
I mean,
do.
I do want to profit off my own shit, but I like it to be built into the platform rather than.
You're right as well. But there's another
I think it's
problem.
more.
But there's another problem. Like if I put down my ideas and they're not as I actually want them to be, then someone else might use them and say, "Let's do this," and I haven't actually finished with it as well.
I think
Okay.
it's more about making that idea yours. Once you see it, it's not yours anymore.
Yeah.
But it's like you don't have power over it or like control over it since it's just an idea and not something you can take back.
They might. Yeah. If
So
you put down an idea and then
like
later
we're
on,
extra careful of saying it.
I've never felt so different from INTPs before.
is that an I?
I mean, it's I can't imagine going through life thinking like that. It seems
I think you
crazy.
tackle different issues and you have different ideas, so it doesn't really
No,
matter for
because,
you.
no, because I think we're looking at it from different points of views. Like Eric looks at it like, as he said, nobody can make that idea come to life like the one who thought about it. But it's not about bringing it to life as more as in owning it, I think, for me at
Yeah.
least.
You like it in its pure abstract form.
I don't care if I bring this idea to life. All I care about is that I have it.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
It can be better described, to be honest, but that's the kind of basic truth to it.
Yeah, that's your that's an NHP for you. Well, so I take it you wouldn't say, yeah, just do whatever you want. That probably wouldn't be your approach. Is that what you're suggesting?
I have like a master plan. I want to know how it's going to integrate into the greater structure of things.
I want to find
So I
that
wouldn't
out
just
too.
do it.
Is that the difference? You want to know, I want to find that out. I'm excited to find that out too. How everything fits
I
together.
believe that you can't find it out. You have to create the system from the bottom down, from the bottom up. Sorry.
Now, I do get your architecture point here, and it's an important one. There's certain things that
You
you
can
have to
also.
structure the architecture right from the outset, or you fuck yourself. The thing is, there
Yeah.
was no possible way for me to structure the playlist, organization, taxonomy architecture right from the outset with this shit because I didn't know what I was doing. How can I set it up ahead of time when I don't know what I'm going to be doing?
Yeah, it's fair enough. That's a good point. You could, in theory, restructure, but I've said this like many times now. I don't think you know what your goal is. You don't have an equation. So you can't actually restructure unless you know that. Unless you know what sort of content you want to make and what your goals are with that content. I
But
don't think you know that.
it's starting to come together a little bit, in the sense that I want I want you to upload a video, right? Like that. That's a big part of my vision is that I've got
It's a nice
multiple people uploading
community.
videos.
Would you say your goal is community based then? That you want to make a good community?
Yeah, well, I mean, I've got lots of sort of original visions, right? The original vision that on one level is not about this, but it's about the idea that I wanted to have a it's like Facebook in the sense that it keeps track of your shit, but it just keeps track of all your time objects for you. And it plots them
Mm-hmm.
on a linear lifeline so that you can say like, oh, in this year I made this song and I made that thing, whatever, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
additionally, it begins to build out your metaphysics and it starts to make suggestions to you. So as you make new things, it finds out what all your
Yeah,
words are, and it says like, okay, you're displaying too much in this one area. You should adjust by making a counter display in this area here. Like it's a life uh, tip suggester,
yeah, I
but
get
for
it. Yeah.
metaphysics.
Like, the format that you have now, it has so many potential ways that you can improve a community, like shape a community. Like I would see it very stressful being in your position because you have loads of people suggesting things to you, but you can also see yourself that you could take the community in different directions. So I do think,
I have a stress free way of dealing with that. You make suggestions to me, I say, here, I'll make you a manager. Do whatever the fuck you want.
that's cool then.
I mean,
Well,
what else are you gonna do? It's the
so
easiest
you're
way to do
letting
it.
the system change naturally with the participants that occupy.
Will the
Which
system change? Yeah, it's gonna change for sure. Look, I mean, the thing
naturally
is,
without like total control.
yeah, it has to. If this thing grows, and I'd like it to grow, if it becomes bigger and starts to encounter some of the difficulties of a larger community, then obviously the open access gets less open in general,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it just starts shut down. the thing is, early adopters have an advantage, and I want to make sure that that gets codified into a profit advantage as well. I've got the marketplace plan. I've got now a schedule. I want to launch it when we get back from the trip because I'll have objects that I will have filmed the transfer of the objects so that they'll have additional collectible value, so to speak.
I see what you're doing there. I see what you're doing. It's very clever because
And then
yeah.
one other
Sorry.
point though, the reseller market. Everybody gets 95% of what they sell it for. The other 5% goes, not talking with famous people, it goes to the original maker of the collectible, so that there's residuals built into it as well. And that
Oh, I see. I see. Right.
and
Okay.
to the extent that well, TWFP should get a cut too. No, I'll have plenty of 5% of my own. See, because I got plenty of my own shit in there.
You're
And
making it like a catalyst, basically, that people are going to want to do it because of the structure like that.
and if you want to get your own collectible in, well, the way you do that is build equity by participating in this. And then if you're around a lot, I'll ask you to contribute something if you want to. You know.
I think it has inherent issues with it though, as well. I think that I've written this before. That it's almost like you have a rank. Have you ever heard of those sort of like gaming communities where you have a rank in it? That I don't know. It feels committal to me that I would have to commit. It's kind of pressurized
There's no rank.
because it is a rank though, isn't it? No,
No.
like having a collectible.
Well, I mean, if you want one, come talk to me about it. You don't necessarily have to follow any rules or protocols. Maybe you can convince me to just take one right off the bat. If it's cool enough, I will. But at that point, I'll say, well, I'll take this, but you know, for it to function in the collectible markets, you're gonna have to make some appearances here. You're gonna have to be around for a little bit, just so your face is on the camera, so we can talk about the collectible for one thing and give it some added value, yada yada yada, something like that.
Yeah,
It's
I think you're right. Because there's no other way of doing it. Is that when the community gets too large, there is realistically that is probably the best solution for it. It's just a shame as well because to me it feels like it would be like people who have committed more would have a higher status inherently,
but here's
which
the thing:
is
the collectibles
you,
market. You do not have to have made something to make money off of it, right? You could have status from having the most collectibles, not because you made them.
is that by watching the most videos then?
I mean, not necessarily by watching the most videos. I'm saying if you're active in the collectibles market and making more money than other people in the collectibles market, who the fuck cares about your status? And if you want to claim status, you'd be like, well, I have all of these. I sold them last time. I made all this profit, whatever. If the model works as far as a stock markety kind of a thing, where its value increases as the number of people who have exposure to it increases, which is going to slowly, gradually increase. Numbers go up
What,
slowly.
what do you
Then it's going to
get?
work. It's bound to
Why would
work.
someone want to do that? Why would someone want to have a higher status value or whatever you just said, the higher?
Well, I'm just saying, to the extent that status is an issue, you're concerned, like saying, well, the problem is in this community, you're going to have people coming in later having lower rank because they don't get to make a collectible. Well, number one, they can. Number two, they don't have to attain rank just through that, right? They could ignore rank entirely and say, well, I'm going to make money on this collectibles market because I think it's actually a good idea and I'm early enough of an adopter. When it gets really, really late, then maybe at that point the thing peaks out or ceilings out. Well, I mean, that's natural for any commodity. So, okay, well, but that's way down the road. It's built on a cryptocurrency model, not on a Ponzi scheme model.
Right. How does the economy actually work then with the collectibles?
Well, the first launching thing is going to be backed by the Detroit videos to give it added collectability, quote unquote. It's going to be backed by the big video where I explain all the different reasons why you want to buy this thing. It's going to be backed by the fact that the first launch release of collectibles is going to be underpriced dramatically. It's going to include all shipping costs. It's going to be like $1 to $10 for everything.
Is
So
it just a share? Is it just a share then? A collectible is a share, basically.
if if well, I mean, no, a collectible is yeah, it's a more
A
like a
share.
company. It's more like a company in the stock market.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, but
It's a
if
company share.
yeah, I guess so. You could say that each individual person, the number of collectibles they have in the market represents one share in that person's collectability.
You're making a company, basically.
Yeah, but more important than this is you're gonna buy it regardless of whether you think the object is cool. Like, you might think my drawing is shitty. It's not worth $5. But you want to buy it anyway because, it's only $5. It includes shipping. And um, the thing you're really buying is the fact that this idea is going to work. You're only investing $5 and the possibility this thing could be worth $1,000 in a while and not a super long time. Because why? Because here's how the model works. Here's the fact that here's where the quote unquote new money comes to the table from. That's the gradually growing audience. Here's the advantage to early adopters. Here's the advantage to not super early adopters. You can gain from it this way, this way, this way. I explain the whole fucking system, And then I say the other thing you're buying into is the fact that I'm able to convince people that this is going to work.
And I see what you're saying. You're saying it's going to work because other people are going to invest, and then you're going to get more people, you're going to get more viewers, and then there'll be more revenue.
And the resellers market's going to be right there. Let's say the first set sells out, the first 10 items sells out in 2 weeks, and I make the next release date a month. There's 2 weeks where there's nothing available to buy, except in the resellers market. I bought this for $5. I'm going to try reselling it for 20. And somebody
what sort of returns will you get? What sort of returns on shares will you get?
I mean, your returns are instant if you put it in the resellers market. You put it in there right away. You could buy it and try to resell it for more immediately if you wanted to. And you get 95%.
It's basically like Patreon.
Huh?
It's Patreon. It's basically Patreon, but you also get a return if you sell your shares. It's basically a way of getting revenue, right? So you can grow the channel, and then they can sell back their shares.
It's a way to have.
You've got to actually do well.
Value and equity in little shit that I make that has no inherent value really. Like I draw lots of little pictures. I don't consider myself a great visual artist, but I still want to sell them. And I'm going to sell them. Also, when you buy one of these things, it comes with all the digital rights. That's a requirement to submit it. You're selling.
Do you actually do things? I thought you meant it was. I didn't think you actually meant art and like physical things.
No, everything's a physical object.
Like, do you mean also with your channel and your videos and your revenue from videos? Or do you just mean from things that you make?
No, I think that by far the most profitable aspect of this channel is going to be the collectibles market. Because...
What do you mean by collectible then? I think I'm getting confused. Do you actually mean like a physical thing?
Yeah.
I didn't think you'd done that.
Like this is going to be one of the things, maybe one of the first ones released. This is going to be one of the things for sale.
Right. Okay, so it is like shares, but it's attached to an object.
Right.
That's really weird.
It's going to come with this, and it's going to come with a piece of paper that I wrote on. This is object number, whatever. Or I might type it with my typewriter to make it look like fine arty, on a little piece of paper.
You have to, for the to ensure that the future is okay, you have to make sure that you can say that you actually made that, because other people could put in fake pieces of art to the...
Well, here's the thing. As long as an object is sold only through talking with famous people in the reseller market, then we have a provenance, and you cannot sell anonymously because I want to make sure that every object has a clear provenance. Once it leaves the marketplace, you can still buy and sell it. Obviously, it's your property. You can do whatever the fuck you want with it, but you can't put it back in the reseller's market. It's considered non-verifiable at that point. This is a way to keep everybody where I want them in the marketplace.
This sounds pretty cool, actually.
It sounds pretty what?
Pretty cool. It sounds like it's a good idea for getting investments, basically, other than Patreon. By the sounds of it.
I mean, the thing is,
why not?
There's so many reasons to buy this. There's so many. You might want to buy it because you think Eric made a cool picture. You might want to buy it because you like Eric and his picture's really dumb and you feel bad for him. You want to buy it right away.
You want to do it, because you want to invest in the channel.
Or you might want to invest in what you think might actually. Hey, you know what? Eric might be right. This thing I bought for $5 might be worth $1,000 in a year.
Right.
I'm gonna fucking try. And that's all it takes is the possibility you might actually make that money. And somebody says, "Well, it's so cheap. I might as well invest this $10. It has such a huge promise of return potentially." And all of a sudden, boom, it's happened.
Yeah, that's cool because people will actually invest because they like you, and people like Michael Pierce. You probably know who he is. He has a Patreon account, but all you do on that is just pay him money, and then he makes videos. He makes videos, basically. But with your thing, you're saying that people can make videos and shit like that and get collectible.
Yeah, well, I want you to make a collectible, for example, Barry. You have to mail it to me from England, and And then when I sell it, you'll get the money that I for the initial selling price for it, and you'll get 5% anytime anybody resells that object, as long as it stays within the system. If it leaves the system, then there are no more residuals, and you're fucked, and nobody can do anything about it. It's then
Right.
considered unverifiable. But as long as it stays in the system, you keep getting residuals for it.
I think maybe there's a problem down the road though that this system is really good for propulsion, for propelling the market, but then later on, say you have like, let's just say you get 100,000 subscribers, the market might kill itself slightly, and like those things might be worth nothing.
The market might do what?
Like you said, the collectibles, like every time someone sells one and it stays in the resellers market and things like that. But in the future, is there a problem with, like, if you get more and more people and more famous people and collectibles associated to them, then in the future they won't be worth anything. I guess you get 5%.
You just have to keep the ratio the same, or better, right? It could get better. So the number of collectibles available is, first of all, there's a scheduled time releases, so you have to wait. Doesn't matter if the next ones are out yet or not. You only kind of buying and selling you can do is the resellers market, so that encourages action there as well. But second of all, I have control over what gets released as collectibles. The problem with collectibles markets when they collapse is that somebody gets greedy and tries to release a bunch of shit. Well, each single collectible in this set is individually handmade by one of the famous people.
Yeah.
So, number one, I can't mass produce a bunch of card sets and, oh, fuck it, I'll just ruin the market. Number two, I don't want to ruin the market. Number three, I want to make as much money out of this as possible, which means I have to be smart about it. Right? So I'm going to be smart about it. I've got lots of impetus to keep the market sound indefinitely.
Okay. Yeah, I read your Milk Lab thing just briefly. That looked pretty good actually, because you put it in my folder, and so I just read it a little bit. It looks like it'd be cool game to play.
Yeah, it's not working though. Is the thing. It's like I've got sort of I started doing all the conditionality web shit, like all the logic of it basically, and then I started getting bogged down. You know, like if this and that, then what? Fuck this shit. You know,
It sounds
to do stuff like that.
You
get
could
bored with it.
Get that INTP woman to help you, maybe.
I tried to actually. This was one of the things we fought about because she was saying, well, this was the gist of it. I want to set up the architecture for the Milk Lab database ahead of time so that all the cards we made fit into that database architecture wise. Yeah. And she said she did this. She made the smart business argument. That's not the way to do a business, Eric. You add components as your growth of your business allows and demands. We don't know how many kids we're going to have in the fall. Say, well, we have to operate on the assumption that we're going to have a lot. I assume we're going to have 40. And she's like, well, we can't assume that. Well, we did end up having 40. So,
I don't know, I disagree with her though. That sounds a bit, you're probably simplifying it beyond what it is. Yeah. But it sounds like you're completely right. It sounds silly what she said, but I don't know all the details.
Well, because the Milk Lab database is not actually necessary at all for Autonomy Debate School to function, right?
No, you're going to sell it on like Amazon, aren't you, or something like that?
No, it's supposed to be it's a subscription service. Right now, there are lots of subscription services where, I mean, not a lot, but there's 3 or 4 main ones. Champion Briefs, Foundation Briefs, Victory Briefs, what's his name? I forget what that guy's name is. Anyway, his briefs. They're places that say when the new topic comes out, they get some assistant coaches together, throw together a bunch of cards and sell a PDF that's like 150 pages of evidence cut into cards, ATs, shit like that. You know, basic debate evidence shit. But what I'm saying is, fuck that. I've got a way better idea. Let's turn it into like a turn-based card game and have Milk Lab be a case tester. So first of all, when you sign up for a Milk Lab subscription, it's real time. You get the updates every time I upload a new card. It comes to you automatically to get an update or whatever. You know, if you're on the website a lot, or if you sign up for updates or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, the point is, when you go there and you go like, okay, well, I want to use this card, this card, this card. and I want to test it in a case against a default case on this topic, and then you can play against the computer and see how your
Yeah,
game is.
make it into an app where people can play against the computer at the start in the tutorials and things, and then they can actually take it online into a service like this. That would be
Right.
really cool.
That's what I want to do, and I want the first thing I wanted to do. This is what I wanted to build. This is what I wanted to spend the money to build. Is this this thing right here? I'll show you an example of. This isn't for Milk Lab. It's for a game I used to play called Madden Football on the PS4. If you look at
Yeah,
the at Mutthead database though, and you look at the Mutthead search thing,
yeah,
um, I'll show you this. A parametric search that is exactly what I want for Milk Lab cards. Same kind of parametric search where you have set all these different things on the
what does
sides.
parametric search mean?
Oh, it means you like look this. If you look at the side of that website there, it'll show you like you can set. Okay, I want to see all the players with this rating and that, and
Oh, yes, yes, yes,
and
yes. That's not.
and less expensive than that, and like either a fullback or a halfback and gold level. I want to see
Have you
those
seen
players.
chess? Have you seen the chess applications nowadays? The competitive chess sites.
No,
You could do something like that. I'll try and find one quickly.
but
I
see
think
that's the
there's a
first thing in the database, right? We need to have a parametric search that goes. Okay, I want
yes,
to search for all cards that are uh, contention level argumentation using a comparison vector with a natural rights model against a natural rights model and that relate to war. And then it'll pop up all the
yeah,
cards that do that, right?
that's pretty cool. Yeah. If you that sounds really difficult though, because you have to have those vectors to be able to connect them together, which is difficult
Well, I
to
mean,
do.
I defined them. Where did I define them?
Yeah, I read it and I couldn't really understand everything because I think you were writing things like that. And I was like,
I
what?
actually tried to build this fucking thing at myself using forms and conditional logic of forms, and it got impossible fast. That must not be how you're
Yeah.
supposed to do it. I don't know how you're supposed to do shit like that. So
I think I don't know, but there are definitely ways to do it better than that. I think probably just trial and error. If this became popular enough, you could actually get people who are moderators or like sort of a feedback system to say, is this a good combination of framework and subject and contention or whatever you say. I don't know enough about it.
right. Well, I mean, the thing is, the logic of it has to be. It's based on the idea that there are two kinds of impacts. Uh, Impact number one is binary. They're on or off, right? Impact
Yeah,
two is sliding scale. They're, you know, it, it's the difference between being pregnant or not pregnant and being promiscuous. Well, how much sex is promiscuous? That's hard to say exactly. So, anyway, with those two, with that distinction, fundamental distinction, you understand that everything that every like look if you make a movement around, it establishes something. It's going to establish probably two things. It's going to establish the claim, the impact, and it's going to establish the warrant. So if I
mhm,
say, okay, we should invade Canada because we will profit by stealing their maple syrup. In that case, the impact is profit. The warrant
yeah, yeah.
is
And
theft.
the warranted. Yeah, yeah,
So it establishes that on the flow. Now, let's say you were to respond, let's say you were to take a turn, and you could either answer that or you could establish your own argument as to why we shouldn't invade Canada or why we should do something else or why we shouldn't affirm. So you might say, make a general framework argument. Framework. The winner of this round should advocate a morally permissible
Well,
course of action.
well, Eric, you probably already said this, and I'm a bit stupid, but you can do that with cards, right? So you establish the topic area, you research into it, and then you make cards for people. And what they do is they get given a random deck of cards, and they have to choose the most appropriate cards at the right points, right? And try and win based on their deck. So the
Right.
people who are really skilled can win on stupid decks because they're amazing at structuring or using the correct cards in the right terms.
Yeah, I mean that's basically the gist of it. And in fact, I was good. The idea is if you're a debater and you are looking for a specific card that answers some specific argument, right? You'll be able to buy those cards solo, like for 49 cents or something. Of course, almost everybody's gonna subscribe to the subscription service because they're not just gonna want one card. But if you want to play the game and test out the Milk Lab system, there's a you can join Milk Lab and get a free like pack
Eric,
of cards to begin with, right?
Eric,
And use that, and then you
there's
can buy them
there's
individually if you
many.
join the subscription service.
I know what you're saying. It's a good model, but there are new models that other games are using where they're like like Dungeons and Dragons and things like that. And you could easily use a different service than that. You could use one, for example, where you unlock them over time when you get experience. You unlock new cards and things. But you can also buy them as well. And when you win a game, you get more points to unlock things with. And so you can use a crate that gives you random cards based on random different frameworks. And so like
Okay,
when you win,
but there's an important thing you got to remember, which is for actual debaters who are using these cards in actual debate tournaments, they're not going to be
right,
okay with anything that says like, well, you have to unlock that card, right?
you can have two services though, one for the actual debaters and one for the general public. Because I think this is something the general public, it doesn't have to be very good for the general public. It just has to be fun and like kind of
See,
competitive.
I think I agree. It sounds fun to me too. I've had everybody except for you say this sounds like something that's not fun, and that the only people who are going to be interested in this are debaters. So I've heretofore tried to structure it more for the debate community, right? As presenting it as a case tester. But I mean, I've also thought I think this could be fun, and I would like to see regular people playing this game too, and it's a cool strategy game. So if I play that framework move, then that if I extend that framework move, and that it's a function you can do in addition to playing establishing shit. There's certain moves you can make, right? And if I don't respond to that and they extend it, then they then I'm going to lose all my impacts from economic benefits of invading Canada because
Yeah.
they're going to say it's not ethically permissible. So
You
I
ever
have to
heard of
address that.
civilization? I know what you said. Have you ever heard of Civilization, the game?
Yeah, I used to play a long time ago. Sid Meier's Civilization.
Yeah. You could make something kind of like that, not obviously just like a game, kind of like a game out of it, like where you start from a position and you develop your position, and like, but you'd have to use cards and things like that.
Well, I mean, I think the way it works is you you pick your topic area, it would default to the current topics. The public forum topics change every month, and LD topics change every 2 months. Policy topic area is for a year.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you it falls to a topic and it puts the resolution up and flips a coin and says you're app, you're neg. App always goes first. And as far as the turn based notion goes, I think it would probably be like you go app takes 2 or 3 turns first, then neg takes 2 or 3 turns, then it goes turn
yeah,
turn 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 like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
To
And
get
you
some
have
shit
some visual
started.
representation of the cards that you have, which would be really cool.
Yeah, there's I think there's an example of what one of them at least looks like in there. It's all colorful. Maybe, maybe not.
Okay, which file is it? You have quite a few.
Let me look in there.
I think you put it in my folder. Yeah, well,
Let's see. Bang.
there it goes.
And Milk Lab cards.
What are you talking about now?
All right, so
Collectibles?
Talking
if you look at
card.
milk, like Bedco 2015A, as an example,
Sorry.
any ones in the Milk Lab cards.
Okay. So I'll go to A.
Right.
Alright.
So that's not a
Okay.
good one. Let's look for a different one. That's not actually a good one. Try let me look
Can you
at
put
B.
it in Google Docs format? Actually, I should probably do
Yeah,
it.
look at
Okay.
B. It's supposed to be like B. That's what it's supposed to look like.
Mm, yeah, sorry, I can't see it because I have to upload it to. I don't have Word on this computer because I updated, so I have to upload it to. Can you just tell me what it's about?
Yeah, here I'll do this.
Do the
I'll take a picture of
screenshot.
it. Hold on.
Can you just screen share from your computer?
Well, that's gonna fuck up the um of the recording. So what I'm gonna do is because I can
Okay.
screen share, but then the bots don't automatically come back to taking over like they're supposed to. So let me do this.
Goddamn bots. Have you actually checked the market to see if this sort of thing exists?
Well, I've explained to you what does exist. There's
Yeah,
one
I
service
mean,
that has a Dropbox folder, gives you access to a Dropbox folder. That's the most up to date service. The rest of them still mail out PDFs to your email, and
right.
it's not updated. It's not updated is the point. And the thing is, debaters, 2 weeks after the topic comes out comes the PDF, but they don't actually debate that topic until 2 weeks after that, by which time that evidence is often dated. And so you just sort of use the briefs as like default shit. Oh, well, we can't think of anything else. So that's the top. That capture.png right there, that's the top of the card, and it shows you the various little things that it makes note of. Those are the things that get factored in to the conditionality web.
Right, okay. So
And
there's nothing like this that's gone viral or anything like that. There's nothing on like the apt market for this sort of
no,
thing.
there's
So
nothing
that's
like this at all.
this is
I
something you
know as a
have to
debate
like.
coach what resources are available because I use them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You should work with that other INTP woman and actually make something that the normal person might be able to start using.
Well, basically, Kimball, though, I mean, I think Kimball's busy. She's got 2 little kids. And besides that, what ended up happening with her is she didn't like the fact that, Eric, we're starting a debate coaching business, that has its money generated by clients paying us to coach their kids face to face. And
Mhm.
you're wanting to spend a bunch of money on this other thing that does seem to have good potential, but you're trying to start a second business at the same time, basically, and you're trying to piggyback it on top of this business, and you understand why she had some problems with that.
Yeah, that's short-sighted though.
I mean, I agree, but you got to remember there are limited resources, limited time, and she has more
Yeah,
limited time than me, right? So, with 2 little kids especially, and I'm saying, well, now let's put this other thing together concurrently. There's
as
that
a
much.
hobby, it's a hobby. I would say it's a hobby. Yeah.
What's a hobby? Milk Lab?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not intended to be a hobby. It's intended to be the death blow to the rest of the brief providing industry. It's intended to monopolize the entire brief providing industry.
Yeah, but aren't you using it as a hobby? Like designing it's fun though, right?
Well, yeah, that part's a hobby, but
Yeah,
actually doing it is not
it's
a
a
hobby.
hobby.
Actually
It's a
doing
hobby.
it wouldn't be a hobby though.
It sounds fun, like coming up with ideas
Well,
and
look,
design.
this one tells you terrain, domain, vector, subvector, warrant, impact type, impact unit. We can get rid of. I've decided we don't need that one anymore. Those are the only variables you need in this thing: terrain, domain, vector, subvector, warrant, and impact type. With those elements, you can have these things interact completely. Terrain tells you whether it's contention level, framework, or meta framework. Domain tells you
Right.
whether it's solvency or inherency, or framework. Like it might be definitional. Vector tells you what kind of argument it is. Subvector is basically a type of comparison in this case. And then the warrant is not even something that gets actually factored in. It's just for tagging purposes. Put troops in Afghanistan instead. It basically explains um, what the specifics are of the preferable alternative, but that's not really going to play in to the debate round at all. That's the thing you got to get rid of if you want the thing to work as a game. And then the impact
Yeah.
type sliding scale means it's going to get a score from 1 to 10. Impact unit, and you can run cards and do stuff that causes impacts to go up and down. It's totally like kind of like Magic the Gathering.
I think the easy one there, just checking my knowledge, is in the impact unit bodies dollars. That's probably very easy to design things for that because a lot of, you can probably make that quite big, right? The impact
Right.
unit.
I mean, look, the thing is, you've got either sanctity of life impacts or you've got quality of life impacts.
Right.
They all break down to one of those two things in a debate round.
So you could have like a branching diagram with the cards type thing. They have like cards and then they branch.
Right. Well, and you can see how it plays. In my head, I imagine it going like this. You set up this shit and now you run this, and you link it to this, and it basically it kicks this thing out, which turns that thing back on, which invalidates their whole case.
You can have it visual as well. You could have that all visually happening, like on the thing, it like destroys your thing. I still, obviously, I don't know enough about debate, but I wish I did, because it sounds really cool.
Yeah, I mean, a lot can be learned by looking at flows. That's basically in a normal debate round, when it's flowed, all the arguments are written out on the piece of paper as either a point, an answer to, an answer to, answer to, or something like that. And
Yeah,
and so that's how you gotta get a sense of like, oh, that's why this person definitely won this round. It's not casual or whatever. It's not arbitrary. Like
is
this
that a click?
in the middle there, it shows I wrote down some arguments. Right? I didn't end up flowing this round. I was just screwing around drawing the picture instead. But if I had flowed it, each of those would have little lines coming off of it with the answer to it, and then draw other lines going to other things so I can keep track of what the status of every argument, every impact, every warrant on the flow is, which is what you got to do if you're judging properly.
All right. So we're going to have something similar-ish to that, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, you're going to have little icons. So there'll be something that says, like a B in a square with a little T on top of it. Is something, binary impact, terminal impact. Terminal impact being global nuclear war, all of humanity dies, shit like that. And that's the biggest impact you can get. But, of course, then in the math of the whole thing, there's a calculation of probability, magnitude, and time frame. And those things have to be argued before that component of the math kicks in. So in other words, it's considered certain until somebody says that's unlikely to happen.
Right. Yeah, it would be hard to do that in an automated, like with like a card thing for people who don't know. Because I guess if you were to put it onto into the public market, they wouldn't actually be making the arguments, I guess. They would be using.
They wouldn't understand what's happening underneath. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It wouldn't explain its own engine to them. So they'd have to figure out, well, if I play this, it works this way. And then the why of it may become clear to them eventually, right? Or they may already know the why, in which case they'll make the right decision. They'll confirm, oh, yeah, this thing works properly. It's doing it right.
Yeah. So I guess maybe if you were to try and do that, you'd have to make a learning app or something, or some like major tutorial levels, and sort of build it up to that, and then you
mean for
enter.
the end user, I see.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think that's why you start with a default one that you say, if you want to try this, play with these, and you start with 6 cards, and the computer has 6 cards or something like that. And I mean, because the thing is, what I want also for the Milk Lab system is it needs to have a downloadable app that is the same as the Magic the Gathering card collection organizer app thing that I had when I played Magic. And it basically is like that parametric search, but it's for your own computer.
Yeah.
And it's a local app. So then it needs to be like Dropbox, right? So that the local app updates periodically from the server. And the reason for that is because you can't check the internet during a round. It's illegal in debate. So you have to have all your files on your local hard drive that you're going to access in the round. And so it has to have that. And then that app on your local drive will allow you to organize, to make decks, so to speak, and do all that kind of shit before you're even playing. So you can sort of do this pre-work if you want of setting up a badass plan to go and debate somebody online, and then you go and you play the game with somebody, some random stranger at Milk Lab, or if you wanted to, against the computer.
So my idea is to, first of all, you make an app that isn't anything really like how debate actually works. It's just with cards, and it's way more basic, and it's totally different, really. But it introduces and gets people interested and addicted to the game, and you can play against other people with cards. Then you make another service later on when it's become popular, where it's actually there's different game modes, I guess, or and then eventually there's even like a rank board where you can go on and actually like speak to people and have debates there. So, I don't know, something like that.
I mean, the thing is, you're taking it from a perspective of appeal to the common person first, and then develop the fancy debater shit. But the thing is, the market's already in place for the debaters. I know that market. I know what they need. So one of the things
I'm not thinking about that market, is what I'm saying. I'm not really thinking. I'm not thinking about that market.
Right, but here's the deal: if I can actually get people to get in the habit of testing their cards using Milk Lab, then they'll have to have all the variables that Milk Lab uses. Some of those terms are unique to me. I'm the only coach that uses them because I made them up, right? So this is if it works, and it's a more effective way of getting evidence and of working with debate ideas and stuff than any of the status quo ways, then not only will it kill all the other services, but it will it will lock itself in as the only really maintainable service, because if your card's not a Milk Lab card, then it's not going to tell you what the subvector is. And if people start using that in actual rounds, well, what's the subvector of it? Because you say it's a comparison argument, but I don't see what you're comparing against. They'll start to learn to argue like that, because those are the attributes that it says on their cards. And then everybody else will have to start going to Milk Lab because it's too effective an approach. Everybody else knows what they're talking about, and pretty soon, Milk Lab is debate.
And everyone uses it, so it grows stronger, and with its strength, it kills the other things, and with that, it gets even stronger, and then it kills even more, and then no one can. It's like Google, kind of. That's the way I'm thinking of it.
Or
Google
you can't start another video service like YouTube now and expect to compete against YouTube, because they've got massive advantages in terms of video compression and stuff.
Well, also just everyone's going there to view things, and everyone's uploading there. So if you want to be noticed, which is why you would make a video in the first place, you put it on YouTube. So no one's gonna. If you make another YouTube, another piece of software for that, no one's going to come to you, because no one's going to view it, because no one knows about you.
Right, and you're not going to be able to offer any significant advantages. It's not like YouTube's making any huge mistakes, and you're going to have many disadvantages because you don't have all the architecture years built of little nodes of this and that being added and fixed.
They have 600 workers and strategists and servers and everything. Yeah, you're fucked. Right. So I get, the idea of your card thing sounds like a good one if it can do that. But that means that you're marketing it mainly at the debaters, first of all, experienced debaters. You're trying to take that market, and then with that you'll have I don't know, the information to actually make one that the average person can use in the consumer.
I think there are a lot of people who want to play the game other than debaters, but they're all probably NTPs, you know, maybe NTJs.
There's so many NTPs. But seriously, think about Civ 6. Like, the things you're doing there aren't even real, but with debate, you're actually, it's more real, I guess. So I'm thinking it's more like, it's a skill that you want to be good at, and I think it could be very addictive and have very good leaderboard system.
It's zero sum is why it's that way. And unlike like Madden would annoy the shit out of me, right? Because they're constantly trying to make it so that you feel like you're getting better. And
Yeah.
you know, well, I mean, there's no hiding, there's no fucking with shit like that with debate. It's win loss, and you can see who's better and who's not so good. You know.
Yeah. It has a natural progression system in it, so. But like other games make fake ones, you know, and this would be addictive just to win, you know, get better and beat other people.
So you know, I mean, my hope is that I can make a lot of money, lots and lots of money on this or something or various things, so that I can hire people to do that shit. Hello? This is Eric.
This is Ken.
Hi, Ken.
Hey, so, you know, we're supposed to be doing the video at about 4?
Oh, yeah, 1 o'clock, right.
Okay, so here's the thing. Farron told me that you guys were in the other room, but instead of just informing you guys that we were in the other room, he put the burden upon me to contact you.
Okay.
So I don't know what you plan to do if you were...
Okay, I'll come over into that room right now. I'll come over there right now. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Bye.
All right, thanks.
I forgot. Sharon's fucking scheduling shit for us.
Yeah, what's Saren's game? Was he hasn't actually told me what his ideas are for some reason.
I don't know.
I think this is the thing I'm talking about. When you put out your ideas, someone else might actually force the idea into implementation, which is what I think he's doing.
Well,
I don't know what he's doing because he hasn't said it.
I mean, here's the thing. I have no problem going to this thing of his that he scheduled. He sent me an email apparently. I didn't even see my email, but I'm going there anyway. And
I think I'm going as well, but I don't know what it is. I'm not going.
I mean, the thing is, I think it's cool, whatever it is, because it's the first one. Well,
It's cool, but he has control over it. I think.
I mean,
Over whatever it is, he'll have control over it. So.
Let him have control over it. I mean, he can, but the thing is, he doesn't have control over any other individual. They all have to decide to go there, right? I'm deciding to go there right now because it's the first one, so it's interesting. If it's not that interesting, I'm not going to go do another one. I mean, he can schedule as much as he wants. Nobody has to show up.
I think the idea, right, is that he gives, there's a joint topic, and then you research things, and then you make a conversation about it. I think that's what it's about.
Okay, well, I'm fine with doing that except for the researching part.
You're probably going to be the host, isn't it?
I'm supposed to be the host? Oh, okay.
Probably. I would guess.
Whatever. It sounds interesting. I like the fact that somebody's got something planned for me. It's like, oh, I've got something to do now here that I'm supposed to be doing. I forgot. How official.
I think he's an ITJ, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got some ideas, I think, and he's not laying on what they are.
Wow. He's got lots on no problem with his ideas. To me, he tells me no in certain terms what he thinks I ought to do. And I say, thank you for your advice. And then I ignore it.
You're wasting his time though.
I've had the conversation with him, like, be aware, I'm not a person who does things by following advice. I hear lots of advice, and then I probably ignore it all. I've told him that. I mean, it's not up to, if you want to spend the time to talk to him, give me advice, I told him, that's fine. I'll listen to it. Maybe he's got some good advice. Why is this one not working?
Maybe he has a business idea.
Oh, there it goes.
Oh, you guys talking about cats? Casual. What have you been talking about cats? What sort of things?
I can hear you. My volume's down low.
What?
Yeah.
What are you
This
talking?
microphone that I'm using on this computer has a bit of a hum to it, unfortunately. But should, as long as it's loud enough, should be okay. No, you're fine. So what's the plan here? We're talking about a topic, right? Okay, so what's the topic?
Oh no. Oh no, what?
You want me to moderate the conspiracy video topic? I like that topic a lot. I'll moderate it. I'll give you guys plenty of space to talk. Hold on, Diamond. Hold on, Diamond. Diamond. We're still trying to decide if we want to talk about that topic. Once we decide that, then we'll talk about it. I like the topic. Halloween. Okay, fine. Are you moderating it? Is Aaron moderating it? Do you want me to moderate it? What? Jonathan.
Oh, sorry about that. I slammed the
I'm
door.
sidekick, Coach Ken. I'm gonna give you that kind of stuff. Hi, Jonathan.
Yeah, I guess it is the right side. Oh, I want to know what they're talking about. I probably should have gone to the meeting. See, that's the problem. When people make ideas come to life, you've got to be, if you want to have any influence on them, you have to be there and actually making, contributing. Huh?
Once it hits four people in the
What do you mean?
on camera, you mean, or what?
Where is it? You can go anytime.
Oh, all right. You mean 1 p.m.
Am I
Pacific time?
too high to realize that the meeting's on?
You can go to that meeting if you wanted to.
I don't know. I kind of want to, but at the same time I don't, because it means I have to participate. I don't know. I'm being a bit irrational about it.
Do we have to wait until 1 to start?
Where is it?
Okay, let me record then.
Sorry, I didn't hear you. What did you say?
Let me just get this thing ready. Give me 1 second.
I think I understand your thought process.
Right.
Microphone Chisek, a microphone Chisek.
I think it's a bit of like I'm seeing a bit of a paradox kind of thing, or a dilemma. Maybe it's more like a dilemma.
Yeah, maybe I'm experiencing the same or similar.
Where is it anyway?
Okay,
Sorry, is
okay,
it in Eric Strauss's go-to meeting?
I'm sorry, I don't know because I
and
haven't any interest in it.
Time
Oh,
starts now.
What is it about, anyways? Are they talking about the card game thing?
no, you know Sauron, the INTJ.
Who?
Sauron.
Sauron,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think you normally just ignore him. He said to us that we're going to have an organised meeting with homework and shit, which is a bit of a weird word. But I think what he's saying is that basically you come together and you share, you kind of research into a topic that I don't know who chooses it, probably him or the group, and then you come back and you discuss it and you have your own time to discuss it. You get a allotted time period, and it's organised. You know, you get better content. Because I was talking to Sauron about that ages ago, and now he's actually implemented it, which is kind of interesting. I'm just worried that, like, who's going to get to decide the subject and the structure of the thing. It sounds really good. I'm not against it, like Bob. I'm just worried about its organisation and implementation. Because if people get behind it, then whichever structure gets chosen will be the thing.
Well, I don't mean that you feel that way. That's the way I think of it.
Why did you think it's painful?
Just too many boundaries.
Right.
Lack of freedom.
I don't know though. It's kind of
Responsibility.
yeah. I think it could be like that, but yeah. Sounds like that.
I think that's my NI rebellion.
Yeah, I think my Anna is going a bit crazy, like, thinking about it. I guess the thing is, if he didn't, when I asked him questions, he didn't respond to me, which normally means that there's a reason.
So you would ask him questions about the structure?
I was asking him how it's going to be structured and how, like, who's going to choose the topics and things like that, and he didn't answer me back. But I think what he was saying, maybe I misunderstood him, and the meeting's about making an organisational structure for it, which would be good if we get to decide on it democratically. So I probably should have gone to the meeting. Hey-ho.
It's still happening. You can just, like, it's not over. You're overthinking it here instead of going there.
Yeah, I know.
Instead of saying, "Oh, maybe I should go. Maybe I should go." I think it's better.
Did they celebrate it there?
The thing is, if I don't go and I kill it, then that means that it can still exist in a form that I want it to exist in. So if you, I'm pretty high at the moment, so if you don't understand what I mean.
Do they dress up as Scottish people?
How much lower can the ceiling come, huh?
Not much lower. Where is the meeting?
Oh, I don't have a cat. I wish I did, though. I had one.
You should get one. They're pretty easy to get.
Especially if you get one when they're kittens, then I think you can have an effect on their demeanor. And I guess that could be in a good way or a bad way, but
There's a lot of effort. Yeah.
Will you stop saying what you were gonna ask? Just asking. I have the same problem in debate. Tell kids.
These little
they're like, "Can I ask the first
ones
question?"
are so sweet.
The answer should be
and
yeah,
playful.
and that was it. You just wasted it asking me if you asked a question.
Oh yeah, you have cats.
Now here's the real question. You know,
I have
like
two.
that kind of shit. So anyway, I have an actual question for you about.
I think women like animals more in that way because they get to develop them, which is like children.
So
I don't know that I.
why do you think that holidays
It's a bit of a
represent
stupid claim.
specific income type?
No, it isn't. It makes me think and be curious. So I don't think it's
It's supposed to get an argument, basically. Saying some bullshit so you clarify. That ain't true. Motherfuckers lie.
Like, I mean, the little girl. I mean, she's so. I guess people would perceive it as defiant, but I don't see it that way. I see it as she needs to press her limits, and it's a little difficult for me because I get scared. I don't want her to hurt herself, but I don't want to box her in I don't want to feel like I'm her master, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But the other day she climbed a tree and I couldn't reach her. She was so high up, and she's just a little bitty thing. And
Did you get a net?
She eventually she got tired and laid down on a branch with all four of her legs hanging over and her little tummy on the branch, and she was like kind of panting, and all I could do was look at her, and even though she couldn't understand me, I was like, you have to figure this out for yourself.
Yeah, a blanket.
Huh?
Did you splay out a blanket?
Oh, you mean like, did I put a blanket on the ground?
Yeah, to catch her if you fell.
No, I didn't, because I didn't think of that. I didn't know how.
That's what you're worrying about it.
No, she would manage. Cats are fine with altitudes and stuff like that. They always fall on their balls.
Yeah, I guess. They're kind of built to do that. I don't
Yeah.
know that big cats aren't as good as wild cats, are they?
Well, she finally came down to a branch where I could reach her on the ladder, and so then I got her by the nape of her neck and brought her into me, and she immediately started purring.
Type people wear their costumes.
And she was give out, and she just laid in my arms.
Which one? The white one?
Yes. My little firecracker.
But they're quite old. They're not. I don't know. Maybe they're just huge.
What type is sexy nurse? What type is sexy nurse? You're wearing a sexy nurse costume. What type?
But they're
I'm curious.
They're sweet.
I want to know.
I try to let them have as much freedom as possible.
You didn't ask a question, Hoskin. You asked a rambling.
My mum's got loads of dogs. Well, she used to anyway. She has like 4 dogs now. So I've spent all my energy on learning how dogs work, and I have no idea how cats work at all. Never really been near one.
They're helpers.
They sound cool.
Did she breed them, or did she just enjoy dogs?
She used to go to an event called Crufts, which I'm guessing you probably know what that is.
No, what did you say again?
Crufts. It's this like you go there and you have pedigree dogs, which are dogs that haven't mixed with any other breed, and you show your dog around, and judges kind of look at the dog and try and see. It's a very English thing to do. It's a bit weird.
I do know. Yeah, I know one person who did something like that over there. Go on.
He started there. She had this thing called a Keys Hunt, which is kind of like a husky, but it's a bit more fluffy. And I'll probably send a picture in a minute.
Okay.
And she started showing a dog like that, and then she started getting other dogs to show in crafts, and then she just they just breeded, and then she had more dogs. It's silly, but then she ended up having like 7 dogs because my sister had 2 dogs, so she had 7 dogs.
Oh my gosh.
One of them died, and then my sister moved out, so now she's got 4. And they're all really small dogs. Like, there's a Chihuahua, there's a Pomeranian, there's a Pekingese, which are really awesome. It's so cool. It's the runt of the litter, but it's really small. It makes this weird noise that when you walk in, she goes like that, and starts like undulating is the best word I can think of. Her whole body is like a snake, like slithering. It's like moving about, and she's like wagging her tail so much. And I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. But yeah.
Oh, I got it. I was following.
I don't know what I'm talking about. And I really like dogs, but I don't understand cats because I think animals take a long time, especially cats. They haven't been as domesticated as dogs. They're still a little bit more animalistic, I think. Like, in terms of
Well, I like that. Are you talking, Rosie? You gonna talk? Rosie does like to talk, but it's rare. It's only when she feels safe. Yeah, I like that about cats, I guess. I like that they choose to give me attention instead of,
Yeah. It's more of a level playing field. Dogs work on a hierarchical system, so you've got to act like top of the pack almost if you have multiple dogs. So, like, the way you treat dogs is slightly different, I guess, to cats. Cats are more like we're joint partners in this relationship.
Yeah.
They're lesser, and so they kind of act.
A fairly limited topic.
But cats do that as well. Like cats only purr and things like that because it works. So in some way they are subservient to humans. But cats are cool because they're their own beings. They're their own like self. And, like, they develop on their own.
Yep. And she is just so funny with all of her energy, and when she gets tired, that's when she gets more like a baby, and she comes up to me and is like, meh, 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 these little bitty meows, and that's the only time she really talks is when she's wants to settle in for the night.
Sounds fantastic. Time starts.
It's weird, like human relationships with domesticated animals. It's kind of weird when you think of it, like outside of just your relationship with your own animal. It's kind of weird that the way humans like treat animals,
foolish and terrified,
kind of like they personify them. When realistically they're totally different. Like they don't have frontal lobes. They can't really talk.
Yeah.
They don't really communicate. They communicate with like gestures and things. It's just weird thinking about like how humans use animals.
It's a ghost.
It's a ghost in the skeleton. You're bringing a completely different species into your own family.
Yeah. Well, and from when they're babies, and I guess it doesn't matter if they're babies or not. Because I got one cat, even though she was a part of my life, I wasn't her owner until when she was like 11, and I taught her some things. But the little girl that I've got, she develops a little bit more, stuff on her eyes. That sleepy stuff we all get. She gets it just a little bit more than her brother, and she's learned how to trust me that I can take my fingernail and wipe her eye. And at first she was like, her instincts were like, what are you doing, don't touch me.
That's weird, isn't it? Why do you think they're supposed to have that, or do you think they're supposed to clean it? Because it makes me think, why do they have that if they don't have any hands?
Well, we have that, and we clean it off ourselves.
We have hands, but theirs is like kind of like it dries on the fur kind of weirdly.
Well, I think whenever they, how they lick their paw and they wipe their face, that's probably when it's supposed to come off. But because I'm here with her, I just do it for her.
Dogs can't do that. Which is quite interesting. Like, it's kind of funny I think because they start looking kind of
Like
more and more
vampires.
tired over time.
Like vampires.
So it looks like backs.
Yeah.
Where
What's up, guys?
Hi. We're talking
Isn't
about
Ken,
animals and cats.
isn't Ken supposed to be doing his thing?
Oh, you're in the wrong room.
Oh, he's doing it in a different room.
Yeah. If you're interested, I don't know which one it is, but Eric's in there, and
Oh, he is?
they're real.
yeah.
They're,
Well, he's kind of in both rooms. He's in this room. Well, you can see him.
Yeah. Yeah.
last night there was 6 or 7 ghosts.
What is he talking about? Halloween and politics?
6 or 7.
I guess.
I see at least 6 or
Said
7
the
video.
Most of them are just here because they think it's they got the
he's-
wrong
do
answer.
you
I'll
want
check
to
it
know?
out. I'm okay.
Occasionally, when
Talking
somebody
about-
he says, "Hey, Eric," I'll say, "Hey, who are you? I don't remember you." Oh, I'm somebody you knew a long time ago. I died recently. I just came to visit. They're not that.
I kind of feel like I've got no energy to go into that thing, but
Hey, buddy.
I should definitely go into that thing.
Dad, huh? I'm sorry.
Casual, go and be a delegate for me, please.
Oh, it's okay.
I don't know if he's back yet.
He's probably-
Maybe he did go over there.
You thought I'm going to be the only NTP not in that room. I'm like an outsider. Guys, what's going on? And they're like, no, it's a secret.
So, do you have pets by proxy then?
Basically, yeah. They're not mine, but I have to interact with them because I'm at home at the moment. I do like dogs, but I don't like too
With
many.
other people.
What? Oh, he wasn't talking to us, was he?
Yeah, I think he is. Because why can we have? Hey, Eric.
Is that what you're calling this, Ken? Is that what we're are we calling this asking questions? I'm not doing anything.
See, I can see the problems already.
I'm being mega cooperative.
Thank God we got Eric on it. You can always trust Eric. With shit like this. Not with SI or anything like that. Oh.
Oh, and Rosie just jumped on the laptop there. Once my little boy cat, I was in the bathroom and all the lights were off except for my laptop. And I was washing my face, getting ready for bed. I have a small nightlight in there, so it wasn't completely in the dark. And all of a sudden, I hear Aerosmith playing, and it was Sweet Emotion. And it's dark, and I hear this Sweet Emotion. And I'm really slow now with my actions because I'm not sure what's going on. And I walk out, and this little cutie black cat is sitting on the keyboard looking at me. He turned on, I don't know how he did it. He activated iTunes, and he played a song, and it was Sweet Emotion by Aerosmith. And it was a lot funnier actually experiencing it, but it was...
Yeah, I did. I'm just going to go and check out the meeting, actually, because I realised that
Go on.
up a thing. I just want to know what they're sort of talking about.
Okay.
It's weird over there in that other room.
Is it?
Should I join, Eric? Is it?
I'm trying to be on my best behavior.
Hmm.
I get impatient with host Ken's pacing of questioning. First he says, well, what I was going to ask is, and I say, just ask it. And then there's a whole bunch of disclaimers and lead-ups and everything. Well, you spit out the goddamn question.
My NI told me to stay here too, or my NE did.
I'm going back. We're talking about Halloween too. If you're gonna have a topic,
do you prefer TwFP or do you prefer the bear?
huh? Anyway, Halloween's not a very
It's so
interesting
good.
topic. I mean, not
It's a Tootsie Pop.
Yeah, those are the fucking best, dude.
Oh my God, Halloween, man! I'm in heaven right now.
Are you gonna be an ENTJ for Halloween?
Yeah. It's good to hang out with my dad.
Does your dad have a certain dress? Like, could you like totally imitate him?
I could do that. Wear like casual shirts. A good one, perfect. This one's perfect.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy, cherry flavored.
No, I did you one better. I saw you had cherry, so I went and
Strawberry?
got the raspberry. That's right.
Raspberry. Ooh, yum yum.
Aren't these so good, man?
How did y'all do that? That's magic. You both have Tootsie Pops.
I keep them in the fridge.
You keep them in the fridge. Oh my gosh, I never thought to do that. That's brilliant.
That's grocery shopping.
Candy and cigarettes. I couldn't ask for anything more.
Well, hope Tim, you're gonna discover that there's always shitload of candy around here. I go and buy I go to the store and I get $20, $25 worth of candy all at once, and then it'll last for a while.
Not when I'm there.
Oh, I mean, I eat more candy than you can possibly imagine.
I probably had like 5 Take 5s today. And like, this is my second one of these. Candy's so good, man.
I've eaten too many of those Snickers peanut butters.
Mmm.
Oh.
Those are good, man.
This is how addicted to candy I am.
Is that like anxiety candy though? Because it's, hard candy.
It's a little hard on the teeth, right? But right before I go to bed, I get one of these. I treat it like chewing gum. I put my gum in my cheek, and I lie there and suck on it while I'm going to sleep. And then when I get up to go pee, I get another one. I suck on that when I go to sleep. And every time I go to pee, I get another one. I eat candy while I'm sleeping, basically.
Yeah, what? Did anyone join that room? I have no idea what the hell they're talking about. They're talking about like wings and things.
They were talking about tri-types, I think, a minute ago.
Yeah, I didn't think it was intended for that. I thought it was for like organizing.
It was.
Yeah.
Intent and outcome are two entirely separate things.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Do you have any idea of what they're actually trying to do in there? Or is it just turned into
Trying to schedule conversation about topics. And the first topic is Halloween.
He didn't even say what room it was going to be in both of his videos.
Yeah, I didn't even know what the topic was. He probably emailed people there, I guess.
Oh yeah, he did. I didn't see
that.
Yeah,
I got it.
Shit.
I think I did.
I haven't provided an email for such things.
Yeah, I probably should have read it.
Art.
You know what, Bob? Let's get to talking to Spanish people email.
No thanks.
Then you could,
I need complete non-responsibility towards talking with famous people.
Of course. I was talking about giving you an email as a way of bypassing the need to have an email. Of any way, you have an email address to tell people and then never check it.
That sounds like work.
That sounds like more work than not having an email. Huh? Okay. Fair enough. The weird thing about life is you gotta have multiple emails. Like, I have to have 3 different emails for for GoToMeeting, because each room has to be associated with its own email address.
There's 11 paragraphs in this email that I just opened.
Oh,
Did
no
Sarah read
thanks.
it?
Yeah,
Oh my God.
11.
Chilly.
You should send it back with like any grammatical corrections in red.
I think I'd be hard pressed to find one.
Yeah, you're probably right.
The thing that's funny is, what in the world is about this channel makes him think like that's gonna be a good approach.
Maybe he's not. Maybe he's trying to steal your community though. Because who has the rights to the footage that they create?
It's not filming.
How do you know?
Yeah, it doesn't film in that room unless Ken's
Because
recording.
I was in the room. There's no GTM bot. He might be recording, but I don't know why.
But what's the where is this going? Why are they doing this? Like, what are they going to do with the discussions? Is it just for,
Look, it is not a bad concept. He's trying to have some kind of organized meetup.
no, it's not bad. Where does the content go? That's the thing.
Not
I
that
don't
can see.
know. I don't know. I don't know what his vision or plan
They bring the
with it.
logo.
Yeah,
Bring
that's
the
my
logo.
work.
We've all had a version of this idea of like actually putting like a topic down for a certain day. Like at least I had that idea.
Yeah, I think everyone's.
I don't know if
Yeah.
it's
Who has
Yeah.
the control? No, format.
a hot day out.
Is it?
Yeah.
Anyway,
I haven't ventured outside, although it looks very pretty.
hmm You're in Colorado though. We're very far away.
I'm not in Colorado.
Where do you live again?
I have never said where I live.
Well, I guess
I don't plan on
it.
it.
Was somebody mentioned Colorado.
I think Eric, I had to think really hard about it because he started throwing Colorado out,
152.
and
So
I
you're
didn't know where he
first.
got it from until we were
Has the
talking
5 and 2
about.
changed over the course of your life, or were you always 152?
I referenced Boulder because I used to live in Boulder.
That a 738 or 783 might at one point have been a 784 and turned into a 783.
Well, I can tell you that in Virginia it is sunny and it is hot, and it's going to be hot for Halloween probably too.
That sucks because it's almost November and I would like some fall weather. Halloween is Monday night, casual. Or Monday, I guess. But
The night's when the fun happens.
yeah.
I understood that to be the case for the first number, but not necessarily for the second number, and less so for the third. Is that not true?
I'm sweating.
do you guys actually celebrate Halloween?
Yeah.
Celebrate it. There's a pumpkin on my porch. That's about as far as we'll go.
Oh, is it? Okay. How much do people in general like spend on Halloween?
I've
People buy
spent $40
decorations.
on candy.
hmm
Oh my god.
Everybody's candy.
You don't really
I would
celebrate.
say, I guess I could send a picture of the front of my house. It's covered in pumpkins and orange lights.
We'll find you, light bulb. If you send us a picture on your house, we will find you.
Barry, for about 2 hours, from about 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., my house, and not just mine, but everybody in the neighborhood will be inundated with children and costumes and.
You've been here.
Okay, I get that. I can see how I always sought achievement, and yeah.
That doesn't really happen here. Like
no.
we have like the pumpkins and shit, but we've just
individualism is a
just copied you, but no one really
achievement. So before you reject the shit, before you embrace it, you reject it. It's 17 minutes and 34 seconds.
Eric, does he hear us?
Mute your mic, Eric. Nope. Yeah.
You're in the other channel, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Go there.
I like how reserved England is. It's different. It's calmer than America in many ways.
It's kind of boring. Like, to be honest, like there are many flaws with both cultures, but England's main flaw is lack of community and lack of joint events. Like people don't really know one another. Like people don't really know their neighbours in England. It's kind of weird.
I understand. I remember feeling the detachment that place. It seems like it's out of respect and not disdain.
I think it's just, I don't know. I can't really work it out. It's just it overall feels more depressing here, but at the same time, like it's more intellectual, kind of. I think most people speak different things. They speak about politics and actually.
Yeah.
But when that kind of feels the mood, like, people go
now.
Nope.
I think England was more mentally stimulating, like you said. It's.
Oh, sorry, my bad. Forgot about that.
I think Casual just said.
My bad. Sorry.
Thanks, Casual.
Bob, you cannot tell me that you weren't flirting with that British guy, because you were so flirting with that British guy.
Which one?
Here we go.
I don't know. Just the other night, the young guy.
Oh no, that I was being fun. If it was perceived as flirting, that's fine, but absolutely no interest.
You're so flirting with him. I swear to you, it was flirtatious.
Oh, okay. It was a guy from North London, and I was joking with him, saying he was from Camden, and
did you like his London accent?
No, Barry, I like your accent much more.
Did you have a Cockney London accent?
Slightly. Like, instead of saying thing, you'd say like ting.
Really? I've never heard any English person do that.
Or, I don't know, I can't remember which ones, but I sent him the link of Noel Fielding from the Luxury Comedy Show. Did you ever see that?
Yeah.
So there's one where Noel is a fantasy man, and he meets this guy in London who's like, "That's my sister's cat," and it sounded just like Connor was his name.
Oh, okay. Connor.
That was the guy. That's the guy who's Young Passion. His name is Connor. But that's funny. I'm interested in your perception, Tim, because it's totally wrong.
He's just trolling, just being Tim, right?
Okay.
You were asking him questions, and you were laughing at everything he said, and you were smiling because you were on camera. And you were laying down too. You just seemed flirtatious. Like everything you did was flirtatious.
That's interesting. I'm not knocking you. I find it interesting.
Taylor was being a dick too, so you weren't really paying attention to Taylor that much. So you were really almost entirely focused on this one British guy.
I like it.
It could be a bit of nostalgia because I do miss Britain quite a bit. So that might be. He brought out some energy in me.
Some British energy.
Sexual energy. I'll be back. Hold on.
Okay. I think that was a good time for you to go.
I like ENTPs because they say things that I can't say, which is...
Well, okay, look at what he just said to me. Did I react?
Yeah, it was funny. It was funny. And I don't know if it was right for what he said, but it was something that's funny and I can't say it. I don't know. I sound bad. I'm sounding bad right now.
I think that's funny that you say that because that sounds just INTP to me, that you're not worried how I'll perceive what you might be thinking, but most of the time I'm open to everything.
Well, I'm detached always, so I don't really mind. Like, my view of that was just silly anyway, so I expect you to see it as silly. Yeah, I don't know. You're right. I'm sorry.
No, I don't mean to be right. If you have an idea and you want to ask me, odds are I won't, go flying off the handle. Because that's how I think fun stuff happens. Hey, Casual, like, you have to... That's why I guess ENTPs are so...
They open up. They're
likable.
That others can't do. They're brave. Yeah. They go in and they don't mind if they get slapped down or something.
Yeah, it's a bit violent. And then INTPs, they want to open up, but they're very polite about it.
They're consciously aware of like how it might be perceived.
Over the course of their
late
adolescence, 20s.
They don't really want to offend. Like they want it to be good.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they have the same thoughts, but they can't. They like it when the interview says it because then topic discussion's been opened up, and they don't have to risk being slapped down and told that they don't want to talk about it.
I thought it was funny the one night when I'd never heard much of your voice, and then I hear this quiet snickering in the background, and my ears perk up, and I went, "Oh, that's Barry! He's laughing!"
I do laugh. It just I don't laugh very loud.
That's a bad word for it then, because
which is that's cool. I like it because I know you think a lot of that stuff is funny. It's just on a not as expressive level.
From a sort of political perspective, from a general philosophy perspective, ENTPs are ultra individualistic.
You think you use other forms of media to be expressive?
I express my way of thinking about things, I guess.
Like when you pull up videos of things, like I think, do you want them to be perceived as random, or is it intentional? Or
no, it's normally because someone's been talking about something that other people might not understand the basis for it. So I go and find like a funny video or like a reference or something you can read if you're interested in it. So I'm just doing it because, like, I don't know, like casual interview or something, might want to read it.
Yeah.
But the stupid videos are just, I don't know, just randomness. They're supposed to be stupid.
Cool.
Yeah, talking about that, Barry, there is that video I wanted to show. Let me find it. I just saved it to show it here. Give me a second.
Oh, see you, Tim.
What?
Tim's going off.
Oh, yeah.
What is that?
يقول معكم وكذا يوم نام بس وشاف البراد وينام ما أوريك
That's so mean.
It's like Enneagram says, it's with shame in the sense that you're responding to the potential for being lesser than you think you ought to be by either achieving or by... But see, this is why I think individualism, I guess what it really should say is intrinsic worth instead.
Was he sleeping?
Right? extrinsic affirmation is 3. Intrinsic
I
work
was
is
sleeping.
4.
Joe Eric's in another meeting.
Extrinsic results is 2.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I kept seeing his mouth move and I was wondering what was going on there.
Barry, you think you're in TISI loop right now?
Okay, what is that?
So I asked if you are in it. You know what's the TISI loop, right?
Well, I don't understand if it's actually a thing or if it's just explaining like depression or something like that. Yeah, I do. I understand the premise of it, that you don't use your function and you don't use your full function, and you alternate between the two introvert functions.
And
I don't think that's a thing. I think it's more apt to describe someone who has a disorder or something than to say they have a TIS loop.
well, you use the others, you just don't use them as much or as you're supposed to. I think that's what you mean, but with TISI loop.
I know. I just don't. I wouldn't want to talk about a TISI loop. I'd want to talk about something else, like
I have a possible.
what's causing.
I have a question I want to run by
Like
you.
cats.
If you think it's a good question. The question
Yeah,
is
it's
this.
like something uplifting.
About something.
No,
that
not
is
necessarily.
really some kids being really cruel to some other kids, let's say. Now, is your response?
I don't know. I feel like he just don't want to talk about it because he's in it.
You see the perpetrators get.
Right?
Oh, I don't think he is.
Do you want
You set up
to figure out the source of the
self-entrapment.
problem and make sure that
You've entrapped me.
you know whatever is causing these kids?
Because if I argue, then you're going to say, look, he's defensive, so
do
he
you
want to be
to
perceived as an TIS loop.
say we need
So I'll just
concrete
leave it
rules,
hanging.
protocols in place.
Barry, do you drink coffee?
Make sure nothing like that.
I drink loads of tea.
That being a question to
What's the go-to tea?
I just drink whatever's in the house, really. I don't buy tea. PG Tips is good though. Well, Earl Grey. Earl Grey is really good when you're feeling a bit down.
Any specific one? Because I know they've got several.
I just have PG Tips at the moment.
Okay.
Chamomile tea is quite nice sometimes.
Well, sure, nobody is going to respond uniformly 100% to the predicted type, but there's no doubt that 8...
Casual interview says, Casual, is this private information? Or can I display it to everyone? Lipton.
That's the point.
Hello?
You know Lipton?
I think that's why you gotta ask it as a question, verbally.
No, tea.
Yeah,
Did you say tea?
Tea. I said tea. Is it tea?
Yeah.
Yeah, I used any there.
Yeah, it's tea. You don't have it?
Any
What?
I used any. I didn't know what Lipton was, but I assumed it was tea. So there's your proof. You can put that in the bag and send it off to the doctor.
Yeah, not so much what the question is or the answer,
Been reading
how
mode.
they answer it.
You're wearing your glasses. I remember you talking about wearing glasses.
I didn't.
Do you not know?
I didn't know I was.
Surprise! We can see you.
Sharon, how would you answer that question?
Yeah.
Justice?
I didn't know. I wasn't aware that you can see it.
Or set up protocols.
Shy guy.
You can only pick one, though.
You're shy woman.
Okay.
Are you referring to me as shy woman?
Follow-up question.
Yeah.
Okay, so you probably go with Justice B.
Okay, maybe a little bit at the moment.
What is
You
your
can't go with
justification
anything
for
alone.
justice?
Oh no, I'm in a TIS loop.
Oh no.
Yeah,
I mean, what is your
the premise of TISI loop actually
Like, why do we need
infers
it?
many things, because people write, there's like a million different descriptions of what that is, and it's a theory, so no one can actually say which one's right or wrong and things like that. But
What?
terms of what we think of as like too much TISI and what it's associated with, which is inactivity and overanalysis,
So
which
see,
is
that
like
it ends up
depression
being
and things like that.
revelatory
Then
of super TE, right?
if
Like
that's,
that's a super
I
TE
prefer to talk
error.
from that
NTP
perspective
was
rather than the
insert, well,
MBTI
because individuals have fundamental rights.
rather than keeping it like
Yeah, but linking it to the depression is not right, because when I say TISI loop, I mean dominant tertiary function. So for extroverts, it's other things than depression. Maybe for INTPs it show up like that.
It's 13 minutes.
How?
Is that the end of this video, Ken?
All right, let me find one thing that.
Yeah, it's
give me a
13
second
minutes. Time starts now.
I've read a lot into that sort of thing. It's just a good way of talking about when you have issues, basically. It's not like the actual idea of a TISI thing bollocks. It's just good for like meta.
Check out the link. I think it has some truth in it, at least some truth.
Yes, we did Halloween, Saren. Yes, we did Halloween. You missed Halloween. It was thrilling.
Oh, come on. Why do you say that?
It's not a thing. It's just what? You can't say, oh, I'm in a TISI loop. If you're saying that, you might be saying for what you think is a TISI loop you're in. And to actually know what you're in, you have to like describe it as something else. Like something that is actually a thing, like depression or bad sleep.
But if you know what you're in, it will be easier to get out of it, don't you think?
Yeah, I agree with you there. I agree with you. Oh, it's the audio.
Your audio is...
Is it me
is
or
that
is
Eric?
it? Might be Eric.
Eric is doing something with the... He's doing something with the audio. He's like using speakers. No, it's gone.
Looks like he...
It acts like he didn't do anything.
Yeah, just...
It looks like he wants to come back. Yeah. And maybe he was turning us up and down to see what we were saying.
Probably. So,
yeah.
Did you have a look at that link?
I think what it is.
Did you have a look at that link?
I have seen these things. I have seen them, and the thing is, the only use for it is to identify if you're not living healthily, like if you're not living as you should be living, and like saying, look, do you have do you have a problem with how you're living? Are you eating food? And
also,
I agree with you there. It's just TISI means a lot.
All right. If you look at the ESFP description there for SETE loop, it is, and you read the description. When I read it, I was like, you remember when we were debating the Trump's type, and Margie kept saying that he is probably ESFP, inherently ESFP. Well, if you read the description of the SETE loop, you can think that maybe she's right. Maybe she was right about him.
I mean, that's confirmation bias there. It could be. Like, it sounds good. We don't know, and it's not actually a thing. It's just a thing to describe if you are unhealthy. So I don't really want to talk about it as a thing. I want to talk about it as a tool.
You don't want to talk about this at all?
No, I want to talk about, like, I don't know, I want to refer to this loop business as just a tool to identify if you're unhappy. I want to like, refer to how it works, because that's just pure conjecture.
Alright, let's not talk about it. And how do you know something about, like, oh, come on, Eric, what the hell are you doing, man?
Might be you.
Something's wrong with your microphone. We can't hear you correctly. like a radio station that doesn't work.
How about now?
Yeah, no, it's fine.
You were crossing some invisible planes.
It's this Focusrite external sound card. Sometimes I have to just unplug it and plug it back in. I don't know.
Alright.
Hey, Compton! No! Compton! Stop! Sorry.
Authentic Eric.
Yeah, he always shut off that dog, man. That dog is in misery. Hi, Kit Kat.
Hi,
So,
Kit Kats. Welcome back.
moving on from TISI loop. Do you know something? Do you know anything about like seasonal depression disorder? You know that?
Yes.
You know it?
What about?
I'm just asking if you know about it.
Why do you say?
Just asking. Couldn't I just?
I know what it is. Sort of a bit.
It's like when you're depressed in
Yeah.
the beginning of winter and fall.
It's quite self-explanatory.
Quite self-explanatory. If you've been speaking English since you were born, maybe.
Yeah, I think everyone else here has. Oh, is that Bose? Bose.
What?
Do you want to explain how it's caused and things like that? The biological component to it? Or do you want to talk more on like a social? What?
Because I think I have it. That's why I said that.
Oh, you want me to explain?
I'm noticing every year. Every year I feel like shit around October, like beginning of November until the end of February or beginning of March.
Yeah.
And then at the beginning I thought like maybe it was like I didn't know what it is, so I started looking things up and bumping into like bipolar and stuff like that. And the thing that made me go like the thing that I think was pretty accurate was seasonal depression.
So
I think I have that.
About this.
I think I have that. What?
Have you talked to a professional about this who knows about everything, basically?
I don't really like to do that.
Well, what? Because they actually studied this shit for years. And they can tell what it actually is.
I don't really care what anybody's gonna tell me.
Right, you can use the information to have yourself not have seasonal depression, or whatever it actually is being caused by.
Yeah, I don't, it's like, yeah, whatever, I don't really care, just wait for it to go away.
Really, it's happening every year, you already told them.
Yeah, it's happened every year.
So go and talk to someone.
But I don't think it's too much, like, the problem here is because, like, I don't know the exact definition of the words used, like depression and anxiety and stuff like that.
There isn't really a simple definition for depression because it's quite a branch term and loads of other things are associated with depression. It's not actually a localized thing, really.
All right. Okay.
Not like.
Well, anyways, let's forget about that. What?
Okay, if you want
to. No. If you have something to say. I said that because I thought that you have nothing more to say.
I can talk if you'd like.
Oh, and all the comfy clothes, Whimsy, definitely.
Yeah. I like putting up the Christmas lights, which I'm going to do at some point here around Christmas. Makes me feel like a real adult to put up Christmas lights. We used to get our Christmas tree from a place that no longer exists around here, which was a cut down your own tree farm. called something tree farm, and it was just up this not that far from here on Delmar, and it was in this lot that was basically it was a lot that was full of power poles and shit. It was like part of Southern California Edison's land, but it didn't really have any stuff on it. It just was, man. So they leased it out to this tree lot. And then about 5 years ago, they said, no, we're not going to lease it to you anymore. Sorry. And then they haven't done anything with the fucking place at all. It's really annoying. I was mad at them because they killed that tree thing that I'd gone to for my entire childhood, all of Delilah's childhood until the last 5 years or so. And then they killed it, but they didn't do anything with the land at all. Now it's just empty. I don't know.
You missed that because of the SI effect too.
Yeah, it was important to me. I went there every year for ages, for as long as I've been in LA. You know, the years I was away from college, I didn't go there. But even when I was a single dude, I'd go there and get some little tree, like the cheapest little. They cut down that little shitty tree right there. That's good enough. Yeah, but I still wanted to go through the experience of going to that place. You know.
Yeah. Is it not sustainable? Did they have to stop doing it because it was killing the trees?
No, that's not why they had to stop doing it. They planted the trees to be cut down. They had different sections of this big lot, right? There was a section that was ready for to be cut this year. Then there was next year's section, the year after that, the year after that. I think it was like a four-year cycle.
Yeah, that's how it works, Barry, at the farm I go to. They just rotate their land. They grow trees, cut them, and they have to wait a few years. You can see the different ages of the plots.
And then there'll be certain plots you can't go shop for a tree in, even if they seem like, oh, that one looks really good. It looks big enough for me. Too bad you can't get there. That one. And the other thing is, in California, this tree lot grew Monterey pines, and Monterey pine is an endangered species in California. So there was one point where it looked like the tree lot was going to have problems because it was running afoul of an environmental law because it was cutting down Monterey pines. Because there was no specification in the law that said if you planted them all, like if you're doing that, it's like there's no possible reason you could say you can't cut down those Monterey pines. They fucking planted them for the purpose of cutting them down, and they're planting more every time they cut them down. You know, it doesn't make any sense. So, but eventually they got that worked out, and that didn't end up being a problem. But it's the sort of thing that happens with laws, you know.
Yeah.
Done in the other channel, Eric?
I'm still there, but I have it muted over there. I got the sense that Ken was getting annoyed at my interfering. I was getting impatient with his questioning, so I tried to hurry things along.
But you said that ENTP's best friend is an INFJ. How come it doesn't work with Ken, though?
How come what?
How come it doesn't work with Ken?
I like Ken a lot. It's just that Ken makes some mistakes that I want to correct a lot. Like his slowness in getting to the point of a question. He beats around the bush and sets up all this effy shit that's unnecessary and that makes the media less successful. So my challenge is getting him to be aware of that and change that behavior without him feeling bad and dissuading him from doing it at all. He's young, right? That's all it boils down to for me. And so that's why I'm over here, is because he needs the space to do his thing and make his mistakes and come to these realizations on his own. If I'm in there listening and paying attention, it's going to drive me insane, and can't help but bust in and be like, just spit it out. God damn it.
How old is he? Do you know how old is he?
He's about 21, 22, something like that.
Really?
Yeah. He's bald for his age. That's why he looks older.
He's not bald. He has hair.
Well, he's not completely bald. He's bald for his age.
Oh, okay.
I think they've organized. They made an organizational plan for the conversation, so it might be nothing to do with types at all. It might be because they've actually sort of planned the structure. And when Eric's talking, he hasn't actually read the structure. So.
Well,
maybe, or maybe he just talked for his turn and then he has to leave. I don't know.
I mean, I'm the one recording over there, so I'm supposed to be stopping him like every 15 minutes. Let me see what's going on. See if they need me to stop it.
Yeah, and I need experience, even if it's not optimal. Experience to do what?
Well, NI gets lots of visions, and we can execute it like a symphony in our minds, but we fail to
Ken, 15 minutes. Stop it.
understand how the concrete world can. That's why we don't always do things, because it's always better in our head. When we actually execute them in the real world, there's something that doesn't measure up. We'll find the error, and it sometimes can be hard to focus on the overall positive outcome if there was even the smallest error in execution.
Yeah.
So
it's also TE as well, so
yeah, that's a good point, Barry.
Time starts now.
I think
I
was thinking it would be like really hard for INTJs then. They'll be like very frustrated.
Yeah. Someone's probably pissed off.
Yeah. You may not know it. I don't know. He has FI in the third. I don't know. Maybe.
INTJs and ISTJs are like FA polar. That sounds like something nobody wants. Don't you think?
I got 2 laptops with KitKats. I got 2 laptops and the best internet I can buy.
You are so connected.
Well, I'm not really, but the thing is, I got a second laptop, and mostly because I mistakenly thought my first laptop was broken, when really it was just the cord, the USB cord connector thing. So that's probably stupid. See, that's how connected I am, right? I think my computer's broken, buy a second laptop, only discover it has the same problem because the problem was actually the cord.
Oh.
Which is easy.
I bought a second. I bought a second laptop, but it was a really cheap one for like $200 just to have as a backup.
This one was I think $480 or something like that. It's pretty decent. It's not great. You know, this one was about the same, a little bit more actually. But you know, they only have a certain amount of life in them. You beat up everything about them. Like this laptop, the internal mic doesn't work anymore. All the USB jacks are like loose, and it's just tore up. So I'm happy to have a second laptop. What are we bridging, Whimsy? We're not sure.
I think
She's not here anymore.
She was interested in the other meeting and was thinking you could be the bridge, but she just went herself.
Yeah, Basement Overlord's in there along with Jonathan Campbell. Jonathan Campbell, I guess, is somebody who, well, I've seen him on MBTV, and I guess he makes videos in other places as well. He's an INFJ who knows a lot about Enneagram. So that's interesting. I mean, I have nothing but just fuck yeah about the fact that's happening, you know?
Yeah.
But I kind of prefer being in this room, I think.
Because Barry called that room the dark side, so that means that we're the light side. We're the Jedis.
Right.
Not really. That's a joke.
No, we are. We're the Jedis. They're the Sith Lords.
Oh, by the way, Eric, what's the thing with the MBTV guy, the ENTJ?
Oh, Chad? What about him?
Yeah, You seem like to hate him or like to make fun of him.
I have
Why?
I have a challenging relationship with Chad because there's something about the guy that makes me just desperately want to make fun of him. I mean, like nobody I've ever wanted to make fun of before, because he's so ripe, you know. Like I don't have to feel bad because he's just on his Facebook page. He has a quote that says, um, "The greatness of a man is determined by how he treats lesser men."
Oh, that's awful.
But
I'll
how he
say
treats
that.
lesser men.
That's a nice little God complex.
And
I
yet
mean,
he's
the first
super
time.
nice. He's super nice, and he's super cool. He's super self-correcting. Uh, Anytime I make fun of him for anything, he like seeks more clarification about what he did wrong from me, which is like,
ENTJ?
yeah. I mean, he fucking got his shit down, dude. I mean, he knows how to do ENTJ. He's got the FE down. He's got it all fucking down, and he knows how to work each of the types. He's really smooth. But
I don't know who he is.
I still want to make fun of him sometimes because he does shit like that. He makes little mistakes like that. That's what it boils down to when you got FE in the seventh slot. No, he's got. I'm sorry, he's got an eighth. My bad.
No,
My bad. My bad.
he's SE, SI polar, sorry. SI.
Yeah.
FE in
SI
the
polar.
8.
He's got TENI.
FE in the 8.
Yeah, FE in the eighth.
So SI polar, man.
Well, like
SI polar have to keep moving.
SI polar has to keep moving. Right. He's got no sense of himself as an identity. He's stuck in time. And unlike ENTP, this doesn't solve it for him. Making more videos doesn't make him think he knows who he is. But he's
No.
in some sense the most externalized virtue. Like, he is a really good guy. His politics are perfect. They're right on the money. He is very engaged in objective self-criticism. He does seek to expand his capabilities in terms of understanding NTPs and utilizing their skills and utilizing everybody's skills in a way that is really turn the other cheek based. It's fucking slick as hell. I can't do anything with it. I can't attack the guy. I like him too much. He totally
I
wins. You know?
I think ENTJ is very good at leading packs of not very intellectually minded people. That may be an insult. Maybe that's what he thinks by lesser men.
I agree with you, but this one at least is also very good at schmoozing the unschmoozable Eric. I am unfucking schmoozable, but he can schmooze me. He's good.
Yeah.
No, but you recognize it. You recognize it. So you're still not schmoozable.
Okay, well, I'll take that. If you want to give that one to me, I'll take it. I agree that my claim is predicated on the assumption that everything is schmoozing. So it's not.
Am I schmoozing you by saying you're unschmoozable? And you can recognize schmoozing?
Well, I mean, you're an INFJ. I don't even think twice about your schmoozing because that's why INFJs and ENTPs get along so well. Your schmoozing doesn't feel like schmoozing to us.
What does schmooze mean?
It means, hey
Make you
there, so
feel
real good to see you,
comfortable.
casual INTP. You know, you're a really important member of our team. We're really happy to have you here. Like that shit.
It's like a fake, it's a sugar coating. Do y'all use that phrase?
Probably not.
Yeah, me personally?
In Morocco, do they use the expression something is sugar coated?
Yeah.
Means it's something that's not very good, but it's presented as though, oh, this is really special for you.
Yeah. Sugar tonguing is called here. Sugar tongue. He has a sugar tongue.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or a sweet tongue.
Buttering it up. Huh?
It's an expression like put the grease on the thing and it will slide, or something like
Grease.
that.
Yeah.
Not
That's
grease.
a good.
The sear. It's, I don't know how to explain it. But something
I
like
think we
that. Like
understand
if
each other.
We got grease in
oil
the
the thing
wheels
and
here too,
it will slide.
making things go easier.
What?
Greasing shit up. You know, let's grease this shit up a little bit. Like, you know, just lubricate things. It's like if you're gonna give bribes out or something, right? Yeah, like
Yeah, exactly for bribes.
I'm gonna lubricate this system. We don't. It's not an experience we have really in the United States, as far as I know. I don't have any experience bribing any officials. Do you, Lightbulb?
Um, I think I bribed somebody at some point, but I think it was like at a concert, like get me better seats, and so we spotted the guy at 20. I remember it was at a comedy club in Denver, and my friend I was with, we weren't romantic. He wanted to make sure we had seats in the front, and I remember seeing him spot the guy some money. So
See, that's not a
that's my
bribe
only
though.
experience.
That's
Oh,
but that you
yes,
also
it
use the word.
is.
You have to be greasing the wheels too, for sure. But it's not a bribe because
Oh,
he's a private citizen. You're saying
oh, okay.
like the only person he can get in trouble with is his employer. You can't get in trouble with anything else. He's not doing anything illegal. It's just
Well, then no, I have no experience with bribes.
That's not the definition of bribe, is it? It's still a bribe.
It's,
Not because you won't get in trouble for it, it's not a bribe.
oh, do
okay,
you mean
fine,
like bribe is like a
fine.
public official?
Yeah, I meant more like bribing, like corruption. I was referring to bribing as a form of corruption. That bribing is a form of corruption when it's involving public officials. It's not. It's not when you tip the maitre d to get you better seats, because
Well, what would you call that? It's still a
it's still a
bribe.
bribe, but it's not corruption. So what I'm saying is what I
Okay.
meant when I was talking about bribes. I was talking about the corruption kind.
Okay. So would corruption be like a parent coming to me and saying, how can we get our child to have a better grade? So would that be corruption?
Yeah,
Since
yeah. If parents give you money to do shit like that, for sure. In fact, at a school I used to work at, there was a scandal because the what do you call it? The college counselor guy, who was also a debate coach um, before me, and he had the high school program for a while until the scandal, and he was gone. He used his college counselor position to take money from parents to change grades and shit so that they get into the college they wanted to get into. So your kid got a D in this class or whatever. Well, for $5,000, we can make that go away, make that into an A.
yeah, I think that exists. I've never been bribed, and I wouldn't accept it either, but I do believe there's been a few students at some point, maybe not at my school, that, like you said, magically had an improved GPA.
Well, I mean, the interesting thing is, for a private school person to do that, again, I wouldn't even consider that bad. It's sort of exploiting the wrongness of the way things are. But
Uh-huh.
but if it's a public school, then it's a government official, then it's corruption, and I would oppose it in principle then. But I still think it's like, well, if you cared about real things instead of these symbols, then people wouldn't pay money to change the symbol.
Right.
Barry can hear you.
Oh, sorry.
I said we can't. I thought you were trying to speak.
Oh.
I guess he was not trying to speak.
But back to ENTJ for a second.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I found about him. I was thinking about something that I wanted to say and forgot, and then you reminded me. I said I found about him here, like you said, you started talking about him and said MBTV. So I looked that up and I found the channel. And when I started watching the first video, I saw a guy. He's like recording a video in a kitchen, and he's wearing a suit and a tie, and that tie has that clip thing. And he introduces himself as a master practitioner. I almost that was pretty funny. And then he says ENTJ, so I excused him. So maybe that's why you make fun of him. I don't know. But ENTJ is supposed to be like that.
Well, the very first interaction I had with that channel in Chad was I watched a video in which he made fun, or he didn't make fun of, sorry. That was me. He made a video about ENTPs, in which he began the video by saying, with his little thing that pops up that says, certified MBTI practitioner. And so amongst the many things I made fun of when I made a video making fun of that video, having never encountered the guy before, I knew about the channel, but I'd never watched anything really on the channel. And finally I watched that video, and it wasn't even that long ago. And so I made my video in which I made fun of it. And the only thing, and so then he did fucking brilliant ENTJ shit. He showed up on Talking with Famous People one day when I put up a thing that said, oh, we got a GTM session. And proved himself super cool and not a bitch. I don't know what else to say about it. And so I just was like, well, shit, this guy's cool, But the one thing he seemed to actually be upset about a little bit, the one thing that seemed to bother him, of all the things I said to make fun of his video, was me making fun of his certification as an MBTI practitioner. Heaven forbid you make fun of certification, because certification is really important.
It is for them, yeah. It's kind of like, trust me, I'm certified.
He explained it,
That's
but I did take a
the
class.
judger part. That's the J.
I think, I guess with MBTI as a topic, it's actually important to say that you're not just bullshitting, because a lot of people on forums and things just, basically make up shit. So
like loops?
Okay.
Like loops?
Like the ISI loops?
Well, I don't know about that, but...
but everybody's just making up shit about it. It's not like that's all I've ever done. I just make shit up. But yes, have I read shit and researched it and heard ideas and gather which ones I think are good and dispatch the bad ones? Sure. But when I started, it was I was just making up shit,
Yeah, he's trying to grow his channel by being someone you can trust, because there's a lot of information out there that you can't. So he needs to certify that he is actually the balls.
Well, I'm certified too. I'm gonna put my certification in the channel art. Maybe I'm gonna be with Quadruple certified host Eric.
I think ENTJ wants popularity and quantity, and even if it's a polished turd, it's still polished and presented nicely.
It works. That's the thing. They got way more people over there than we got over here. That's the bottom line.
But why are the people who are here not there?
Because we're cool.
I think you have... No, I can't say that. I think more people here are like perceivers or something. But what I wanna say about him, like he said some interesting things. Like he explains things differently than how you're gonna find them in like forums or Reddit or stuff like that.
Was it?
He says when he talks about a function, he talks about it directly. You know, it's like you don't have to filter what he says for the good information.
I mean, he doesn't only say the good parts. He says everything. Is that what you're saying?
No, what I say is like he doesn't he doesn't say unnecessary things. That's what I think.
In my opinion, is that it's just him saying it. It's not an argument here. It's not a conversation that he's had. No one's actually refuting what he's saying. So it can lead. I don't know. Maybe it's got other people in the background arguing.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's like he's only saying it to the camera, so you have no chance of stopping him and saying, "Hey, wait, what's that? How did you find that, or where did you get that from?"
It didn't sound good to me, but the thing is, it sounds like he's using kind of a different framework, or he's got like a continuation in the way that he's explaining it. So you need to know the other stuff that he said to understand what he's saying. I've only seen that a couple
of
times.
Well, I mean, the other thing is about what I would consider to be stuff that's like just sort of basic overview kind of shit. So extrovert feeling is a cognitive function that is one of, if you're gonna give the full array of shit. Now, obviously, it's an MBTI channel, so he's less intro level than that, but he's attentive to not alienating viewers who don't know all the jargon in a way that I'm not attentive to, probably.
Yeah.
Many people tell me
and
they're like jargon.
They're very organized. Like earlier today or maybe yesterday, in my subscription YouTube page, I saw that they scheduled a meeting with the Basement Overlord, and it's due like Monday or Thursday. And they said that right now. So it's it seems weird. It's you know what I mean? Like early scheduling of stuff.
Yeah.
They're scheduling it, you mean? Or we're scheduling?
No, they are.
They are. Okay.
Like, Sound's doing it now, though.
There's some scheduling going on here too, but the thing is, I mean, that's it. Independently arising organic scheduling is fantastic. I love that because nobody's beholden to anything, and nobody's trying to assert any dominance. You know.
I have to remember in that. But if
I
you
like
want,
how you use beholding.
What's that?
I like how you use beholding. I don't hear people say that word very often.
Yeah, beholden is a good word because it kind of says what it means. You're like being held by it, right? Beholden means I owe you something. I'm being held by you in some regard. That there's a lack of equilibrium in the universe that needs to be righted by my completion of something left to be completed. Either a debt owed or shit like that, basically.
I like how you say that. That sounds exactly why I never went into that other room.
Thank you, Lightbulb. That's really nice of you to say. I'm going to go into that other room for a second because I got to tell them in 20 minutes and I want to stop
To
this
be
video and
held?
start a new one. I got to come back. They're playing some kind of crazy Middle Eastern music right now. I'm not sure what that is. It's like, anyway, I'll be right back.
Right.
Jad is ENTJ, right? And ENTJs are SI. They're SI polar and they have SE in their third function.
What's going on over here?
So the third function is the mobilizing function, right? So they want to reach that SE thing.
They want to understand what's actually happening, basically.
They have to do something. Since they are SI polar, they have to keep moving. They're the kind of people who if they live as an INTP for a day, they will kill themselves.
Hi, host Eric here. Host talking to famous people.
I don't know if that's true at all, actually. I think it's more that they're more aware of the physical environment and things that are actually happening inside of it, like business, statistics, politics, things like that. They're actually like they care about how the world's being affected by things.
Okay. Perfect.
Fantastic.
Just what we need.
What they don't care about is their like SI, the physical things. So like that's why I said to keep moving, because they don't know when to stop. They don't know like when they're exhausted or if they hurt themselves. To an extent.
The third slot.
The thing they didn't consider their experiences have any influence on their actions. They don't use it.
Each of them as having certain role functioning.
I think what you're saying is right, but it's just it's not very abstract.
I utilize it to accomplish my aims in a very direct and obvious way. But also, SE is very role function insofar as when I come into a new situation, socionics anticipates.
I would say these waters are
let's do this.
a little still.
Like I just did right here.
Currently.
Displaying 8th slot SE coming into.
I get restless feeling.
Calmer.
I perceive right or wrong.
Stifled in still water.
Be about to benefit from my projection. So, that's, yeah.
It's weird, chat. Like if you don't read chat and then you like just look at a line that says something really interesting.
Okay, well,
like,
I don't know if they
what does that really mean?
I don't know if they named it that. And you can.
You get restless feeling or thinking or remain. Is that to do with SI or something?
Okay. Hey, I'm excited to hear you guys correct me on this. Hey, hold on. I'm excited to hear everybody correct me on this. Regardless, my assertion is that each of those slots.
No, and KitKats is running in the comments.
Roll-ish kind of roles for me.
I think
regardless of the
INFP is really hard to understand when you don't know.
My question, point, and thing to be discussed is.
Well, sometimes it's hard for us to choose the right words, even though we want to.
Let's start with basement overlord. Go.
Do NFs understand NFs better than the NPs understand NFs?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if I agree with you. Because Eric, huh?
I didn't make a claim.
Oh. Like, sometimes Eric will say something and he's choosing, like what he just did. He's choosing words that are close to what I would want to express, but I can't express.
Yeah, the interviews are really good at that.
But so are INTPs. That's why I like your type so much. I can listen to both of you for hours. It's so nice to my brain.
But I like pleasing people. I'm a people.
Yeah, I can listen to INFJs easily as well. INFPs I don't really understand a lot.
Like an unconscious.
I do like their jokes though. They have quite funny jokes.
Yeah, because jokes I think come from NE. We have the NES I think, so we get along with INFPs quite well.
But
INFJs, I don't think I know any INFJ
I feel like I use that in similar ways.
So I don't know
you could say
how that should go.
For me doing shit that makes me happy.
You know Ted Mosby from How I Met Your Mother.
Is that
the
That's a very strange INFJ, apparently.
Which one is he?
The archetype.
Which act?
The clever one.
The
main character.
What's the actor's name?
Oh, you can look it up if you want.
But that's
thanks for looking. I could do it. I'm being lazy.
Josh Radnor. I wanted to know anyway. Josh Radnor. He's got a strange surname. Yeah, I have all the links. They're already loaded onto my computer and I can access any link at any time. It's called the internet.
That was such an English joke.
Jonathan, what do you think about that?
Yeah.
That's what I miss. I miss phrases just like that. I don't get to hear them in America.
What do you mean?
It's the tone of your voice and, I have access to all the links. It's called the internet. But the way you say it, it's the English accent makes it so good. Off and on for 5 years.
Okay, but regardless of the model or whatever the origin of the idea, explain your notion of how 8 and 3
the
relate to
punchline,
each
then it's
other.
not funny.
If you want an example for each.
I don't know about that.
The jokes.
Yeah, I was thinking about that a while ago for age, like fucking days. Probably.
Do you know which ones I'm talking about? I'm talking about F-E
I actually
and
wrote.
S-E.
I wrote.
I was trying to
F-E and,
find.
hold on. Yeah,
I wrote,
yeah.
like,
No, I didn't
That's a
write.
good video. F-E and S-E.
What did you
E and
say?
P. Talk about
I
those
hate
two
this
functions.
chat. I hate this chat so much.
As it relates
It
to
cuts
each other
people out
in the
instead of
entity.
making one quieter than
In
the
their
other. It just
respective
fucking eliminates
spots,
one of the other
quote, unquote.
person.
However you want to think
And it
about it.
destroys the conversation. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Got pissed off.
We've messed with the INTP. He's scattered.
I'm angry for everyone. I'm angry. I want everyone to be angry with me.
Hold on, let me get my pitchfork.
Okay, good. And the flaming torch.
Yes, definitely.
No Molotovs. We don't want to kill.
The flaming torch,
No.
dear.
British accent.
Kinda. That's how you sound, actually.
No, what-
Have some tea.
You shorten the words. You're just insulting. You're shortening the words too much.
Host
You're
can
cutting
have
those
a-
two slots as
We're
they
gonna
have a tea
J
party.
or HP or
I'm gonna have a tea party with the queen. God's sake.
Too bad. Like, but you're only laughing.
What?
No.
I'm laughing because it's bad, not realistic.
Yeah.
That dog.
It's not the Queen. It's Lizzie. Going to have tea with Lizzie.
We're going to have tea.
Not funny. I don't know why, but I can't laugh at it. It's just not funny for some reason. It's funny if you're
It's
not.
funny because it's bad.
It's funny because it's bad, but like I can't laugh at it because then like, it sounds like I agree.
I guess.
Going back to the joke thing. It's like I also was thinking about that because I've noticed that there's jokes make me laugh and others that don't go away. And for me, like this, what I found is like if
Can
the
you relate that to you and
my connection.
Casual, you
Better.
cut out. You cut out for a second, so I don't think people understand me.
Well, at least I said I've noticed that sometimes they laugh at jokes.
What do
You're
you
cutting
think
out.
that
It's
is?
normally
What
not
is that?
funny.
Example of what that is.
Reload.
Then
Reload. If you can hear me, reload. That's always the solution. You have to say shit really slow so they can hear it. Oh, you can hear me. Well, relog or something. Your conversation space will be reserved.
how about now? Am I still lagging?
It sounds
Aurora,
pretty
do you think
good.
that's SI?
Pretty good. It sounds, yes,
Hold
sir.
on, I'll come to you next, Sam.
Anyways,
Real quick,
the
Aurora, do you think that's SI?
yeah, the joke thing. I said jokes. If I can predict the punchline, then it doesn't make me laugh. That's the conclusion that I found. I don't know about you.
I agree with you there, but what I found is that
Sharon, what are your thoughts?
if I can predict it, but I don't find it, like I've already thought about that a million times and it's kind of obvious, then it's not funny. But if it's something that is like really clever and actually kind of parodying
Yeah.
like, someone else's like the stupidity of the political system, even if I know where it's going, it just makes me laugh because I think it's like clever. But I think
Yeah.
you're right that most of the time things are funny when you can't predict what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And then it hits
Yeah,
you.
and also if you can predict it, if you like predict it, but it was challenging for you to predict, or it was like so cleverly made that even if you predict it, you still laugh. You still like, Respect the guy who wrote that joke or something.
Some jokes, some really good jokes, in my opinion, are the ones that where you can tell what the joke's going to be, but then like they've also realised
Something
that.
else.
Yeah, and it's something else. And so what they've done is
Yeah.
like double, and then that's really funny. Like when you're like, oh, you got me.
Right.
Yeah, mad. Yeah, mad jokes.
Meta. How do you say meta?
Meta.
How do you say the T? Meta. Not meta.
It's T.
Yeah,
In
English will
English,
say meta, and Americans will say meta.
But
Yeah.
we say meta. More
How do you say
Ken and
little?
Justin.
Do you say
Ken.
little or little? Something like
Little.
that. You say the T. You always say the T.
Little.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
pretty much.
Alright.
Okay, fantastic. Go ahead.
I hated saying water in England. That was the one word that was my old crux.
I think
That word.
yeah, my dad used to take the piss out of Americans because he used to work with them a lot, and he's an ESTJ, and he used to take the piss out of them all the time. Like he was on a conference with them, and then he'd like meet himself and then take the piss out of the American guy, and then like unmute himself.
I get it. Living over there, Americans are fucking annoying.
But they're good to do business with, he said. I don't understand what his claim is, but he said that the Americans are very easy to do business with.
Well, I think I would agree with him. We're probably more forthcoming. I see British business sometimes dragging their feet.
I think we're a little bit.
Well,
a little bit harsh.
I don't necessarily agree with the that's not SI.
There just seems to be some formality,
in and of
some
itself is not enough to determine as SI.
a more of a show of structure in Britain. And in America, it's like we tend to throw that out the window and just get down to brass tacks. Really, I think that's the extreme.
I think I don't know what it is. I don't know anything about business.
But I don't know if that reflects the
It
model.
seemed I would bet money on it being easy
The thing is,
to
I
make
might do a
business
repetitive
with
task
them.
over and over again and get an introverted sensing positive thing from it.
An English person. So my throat's really fucked
Is
up.
something I do. So it's like
Well, I can't tell.
when I'm lying down in bed,
That's good. I keep
rub my feet
I
together.
keep going quiet on the last words that I say.
One foot on top of the other
Just wondering
foot,
if you can
and
hear me.
I'll go right.
I can hear you fine.
That's very SI. It's like me getting ready for bed. You know?
So what the hell were we talking about? Or like what were we talking about before that?
Jokes.
Yeah, jokes.
But it's the same every time. It's not
Do you have any
repetition
other
within the
thoughts
moment.
on
It's
jokes?
repetition
Anyway,
over time.
I haven't heard
It means I'm doing the
INFJ's
same thing
perspective on
time
humor.
again.
Yeah.
Um,
Or no, I think INFP's
What are the jokes?
yeah, INFP probably
The
has some
familiarity is part
good
of the
insight there as
satisfaction.
well.
It's not just
I
because
always
go to Denny's,
liked-
right? I sit at the same table. It's not because of any reason that table provides me additional comfort except
Well,
for
like
the sameness.
like
of it.
Jeremy Clarkson, if I think
I
of
mean,
the
there are
British.
reasons why it's my favorite table,
I-
but that's not actually why I'm
He just,
enjoying having
I
that
just feel
table.
tickled
Mostly
whenever
why I'm
he's
enjoying
talking
sitting
because
there.
it's
I got my
I like the
table.
unpredictable nature of it, but
Yeah.
good natured, not unpredictable in a
So-
scary way.
He's just like,
Yeah.
he's really meta.
I mean,
He's
it's just
really like
familiarity. That's what introverted sensing is. Familiarity.
Casual, you're breaking up
reliability.
again.
It's like, yes, all the laundry's done. Yes, it's all folded. It's put away.
And
I can
Monty
reliably expect
Python.
when I go
No,
to the
no.
car tomorrow that's going to be clothes that are clean. I can just pick
yeah,
something
that's
easy.
better.
And I like the fact that the house is neat and tidy. And
I like
Monty-
the
feel like I'm on
British
top of
show
shit, and it
Peep
looks
Show.
nice and stuff.
Yeah, oh,
And
Peep Show.
the repetition
what's his
thing is
name?
part of it, I think.
David
But,
Mitchell.
okay.
Yeah, David
I
Mitchell
think it's
plays
a good length
Michael,
for this video.
and
I think it's a good
I saw that so many. I watched
for
that probably
this
like
session
5 years ago or something.
in
It's
my
really
opinion.
old now.
Yeah,
At
That was really good. He's an ENTP, I think, as well.
14 minutes, 30 seconds.
I think that, or yeah, he probably is
As an
ENTP.
active moderator,
Um,
right?
Do you
I
guys
think
know
it's important.
Jimmy Carr?
In the
Yeah.
car?
Observation.
But because it's INFP.
Time starts now.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
well the other night we were
Yeah.
talking about Top Gear.
So weird. Did they caught him? They caught him with an offshore account, and he was evading taxes. So they, you know, his show 8 out of 10 Cats.
What are we talking
It's like
about?
a comedy show.
Biology?
The topic was actually the most popular things in the headlines, and he was hosting the show, and it was actually him at the top for avoiding taxes,
That's depending on you,
which is
moderator.
massively frowned upon in England, and so it was fucking hilarious because
What the fuck
it was
did
so
we just do?
awkward
What the
because
fuck
he
did I
like
just demo?
avoided taxes
I demoed
and
properly
they
staying
were
on topic,
talking
being a
about it
moderator,
on the
and letting
show.
everybody talk about the same topic.
I'll
And
find it.
finishing
It's
with
so
some comments
funny.
of my own, and finishing in 15 minutes.
Do you guys
That's
actually
what I
know
was
who
saying.
Jimmy
If
Carr
we're gonna
is?
do this thing, be all formal.
Oh, Jimmy Carr, yeah.
Yeah, I know. There's one British guy who's funny. Is
Okay,
TV
okay,
or
you win the
JD?
point.
Yeah.
Time starts now.
Brave or Brave or something. Go ahead.
Back to the light side. Hi, Eric.
Hi. Well, it's because they want their cake and eat it too, you know? It's like you want to have this organized thing, but you don't want to be a take charge moderator, right? Where you go, all right, now you talk, right? So I went there, and host Ken has kind of thrown up his hands and like, this has gone off the rails. I think he feels somewhat responsible, or Saren maybe does, or somebody does in some sense, for the fact that they've got this Jonathan guy here. But he's already expressed at the beginning, like, oh, we're cutting these into short little films. I'm used to these things running 2 or 3 hours. So he's used to rambling on about random shit. It's fine. Nobody needs to be fussy about that. But the other thing is, they want it to be on topic. They have topics. It's supposed to be that. But that means somebody's got to be like, okay, the topic is this. What do you have to say about that? Oh, here's a couple more thoughts. Now, what do you have to say about that? What do you have? Oh, you have something to add? And then somebody chimes in. Hold on a second, Saren. You'll be next. First you, now you. Right? Like that shit. Simple stuff like that. And so then I'm like, well, basically I did that for that episode. And then at the end I'm like, well, Ken, you know, if you want to be on topic, you got to be a take charge moderator. And then he's like, is that a critique? I'm like, it's just an observation. And then fucking Diamond chimes in that, well, if we let host Eric be the moderator, we'll never stay on topic. It's just a joke, you know, which is fine. I took it for what it was, which is, you know, a poorly timed joke because I just demonstrated how to fucking stay on topic for 15 minutes, right? And so I pointed out the fact that, no, I just demoed that shit. And then host Ken's like, well, Eric, you can't set expectations and ways in one way forever, and then all of a sudden change one time and expect everybody to interpret you differently. So at that point I just had to go, yeah, okay, you're right. You kind of schooled me at the end there.
There's actually a really easy solution to that. I'll just send you a link. There's another format of video that you can do that might help them out.
What do you mean?
It's a bit off topic actually. I'll just find the link and you can watch it if you want. It's just another format. Basically, there's this, I don't know what the software is, but you can have the topic displayed in the center, and then you can have windows of people in the background. A bit similar to this.
That's cool. You know,
and
GoToMeeting
really,
Beta has something like that going on.
It might be that actually, because I mean GoToMeeting's massive, but I'll just find the link and tell me if you like.
When I installed it, it destroyed everything. When I turned on beta, like talking to people, raw stopped working. So we will, when beta is done being beta, we'll use it obviously, and if it still doesn't work, then we'll fix it then. But I don't want to fix it for beta. You know what I'm saying? Because then when beta is done being beta, it might have to fix it again.
There's a link there. If you skip forward to just any time, like this middle of the video, the subject's just about games and things like that. But the format looks really awesome, and I can probably find out what format, what software they're using. to do that.
A ridiculous amount of rewards, but if you win less than 5 or 6 and you lose 3 times before that, 3 times and you're out, then you get like a really disproportionately low amount of rewards. And a lot of people were bent out of shape about it because they're like, even good players wouldn't want to do this because...
This is just the channel name, you know?
Yeah, that's great. And presumably GoToMeeting's going to... GoToMeeting's going to have something that lets us do more of that shit as the beta comes out of beta and into.
I just thought for that meeting that they're doing, that might be a good format.
You speak truth. You're a truth speaker. That's why everyone likes you, Barry, because of your propensity for truth.
Yeah. I'm just trying to look for the name of the software.
I think they might be using the Twitch software.
What do you think it is, Casual?
Twitch.
Twitch. Oh, is that Twitch software? Oh, that would be cool. Put this on Twitch and you get more people looking at it, actually. You get subscribers as well. That'd be cool.
Because when you try to stream in Twitch, you have to download an app. You have to install a program. I think it's the one they're using for the thing. I don't know if it allows you to put like ads like that, but I don't know.
Okay. I think I know what you just said, but your thing's cutting out still. Just to let you know. The way they do it anyway, on that, they propose a topic which is controversial a lot of the time. Like, there was a recent game that came out that was very controversial. And then the speaker, which is the guy called Bertaffy, he basically talks about the thing, like sort of the premise, the information on it, structures it, and then he asks people to talk. They give their opinion, and then people can dispute that after they've finished getting their point across. And then kind of move on to the next topic when everyone's...
So stuff like this can't happen.
What's that?
I said, so stuff like this can't happen, and I cut you off so to show the thing.
Well, I mean,
it was
there's multiple ways to
thing,
solve that, right? You don't need software to do that. I've had timed, just each person gets 2 minutes. If they want to respond to something, they can. If they don't want to respond to it, they can make their own points. You know, it's easy enough. You just got to time it. But in general, people don't prefer that once they've done it a few times.
Yeah, they don't actually do that. They vaguely do that. Very vaguely. Like everyone here has done it for a while, so they know, like they kind of know how it works. And
so they time themselves, basically.
They don't time themselves. Well, I think somebody does. They say that we've gone through the topic now, and what we're talking about is just diverging away from it. That's for what they stop when there's nothing left that's worth talking about, basically. I think probably it is timed, really. They've prepared what they're going to talk about beforehand, and then the speaker refers to them because obviously they've had a pre-discussion about the structure of the topics. They say, "Oh, Nick, you had something to say about this. Do you want to talk now?" You know?
I think people don't think a lot about the differing criteria by which people want to participate in one of these things versus what makes media that people want to watch. So the thing that you're describing is very focused on the viewer. It's structured like that primarily for the viewer's sake because it provides a neat, understandable, easy to digest package of information. You got a clear visual indicator. Person 1, person 2, person 3, person 4, and then and then they all have a couple of turns, and it's sort of timed, or at least they go in a certain order. Then there's, I mean, I think that's nice for viewers, but that also can be achieved by probably better by a good moderator doing it right, who's making sure everybody gets their way to talk and who's moving the conversation forward, because ultimately you got to be able to cut somebody off at some certain points and just say, okay, you're rambling now, and you can cut them off by asking them a question to clarify their thinking on things. You don't have to cut them off by starting to talk again.
Yeah, I think they started with that, and then, you know, because it's the same people pretty much every week that do this show, they kind of know how it works, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's naturally occurring, then it's going to naturally give everybody space to talk. Yeah. That's good.
I don't think that would work here.
I mean, the cool thing is,
I have a
perm do
question
both.
for
It's always perm do both.
ITP.
Say again?
What? Huh?
Yeah, I have a question for casual INTP. I was just curious, are you the organizer of this event? Hold on, let me go and have a look. No, it doesn't seem like it.
What event?
So I was just wondering, how did you get the picture? You know how, you know the square that typically shows, you know, whatever your webcam is capturing? How did you get a picture there rather than what your webcam is recording?
I'm using Manicam, an app.
Oh, okay.
I'll send you a
program.
Oh, okay. There's a link if you want.
I asked the same question, Diamond. I was curious about that as well, and they explained it to me. I haven't gotten it myself, but it would be kind of nice to have, I guess.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that.
I think I've heard you before, Diamond. Have you been on MBTV? By any chance?
Yes, I have been on MBTV.
Ah, cool. I've only seen like one episode, and I think the episode I saw was one with you in it.
Well, she's been here before, too.
Yeah, I've been here before, and I was just in the other room, so...
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen you before. Here, like, I remember the name. I don't remember if I ever heard you, though.
So, Diamond, do you know how this room works that you're in right now?
Can you repeat that?
Do you know how this room that you're in right now works?
I just know it's called the Always Open Room.
Right. So right now it's being recorded by the recording bots. And then, like, half an hour from now, it seems to be a gap of one video in between, but if you go to the TwFP Raw channel, everything that we're doing right here will be up there as an automatically published video in like 15 minutes or so.
Oh. So this is not going to go on the main channel.
It goes to the TwFP Raw channel. This room.
Okay.
The other room, I'm recording episodes. Some of which may go on the main channel, some of which may get scrapped. I don't know. I'll put them all up there like Ken said.
Okay. Yeah, can you put the link in the chat? Can someone put the link in the chat for that new channel?
The Raw channel? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
You can download the... there's actually an app that Tiff made, who's a famous person.
Yeah, we have an app too.
Yeah, and you can download the videos, the raw videos from there, and actually edit them, and you can propose... You can give it to Eric, and he'll probably put it up, I guess, as long as it's not offensive.
Where's the stipulation about as long as it's not offensive? What do you
You said that. You said that.
I said what about not offensive?
Can't be naked. Can't be naked.
Oh yeah, you have to be naked. That's not offensive. You can't. You have to keep your clothes on.
Yeah,
that's all.
That's an offensive thing, though. That's what I mean.
So I have a question about this channel. I'm just on it right now. I see that there's like a ton of videos. Do you ever delete the ones where nothing is happening?
Nope. This is a permanent record of 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 a year of this room and what happens in here, whether there's nothing going on or something going on.
That's a bit strange. I don't know why. So what if we're having a conversation right now and it cuts me off? Like, let's just pretend that this is the 15-minute mark and it just cuts me off.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to be cut off.
Well, yeah, but what you'll have is the next video, and that's where the app comes in. If you wanted to, if you thought there was a particularly interesting conversation that you thought was worthy of being on the main channel, then what you do is you get the app and you download the ones you want to get, and then you edit them together into one video, and you can put the bumpers on if you want. And the bumpers are the things that go talking with famous people.
Oh my god.
And then you can send it to me. There's an upload module too. You can upload it. Although I have to fix the upload module because currently the size limit is too small. But you can upload it via the upload module if you log in as a registered user of the blog, in which case you'll be a blog author as well. And you know, I want everybody who's participating to be as high level permissions as possible.
Okay.
So it's
so I was wondering, like, how many people here have the password to your channel?
You mean how many people are managers on my channel?
Yeah, because, like, is the same password that you gave me for the go-to meeting room, is that the same as your channel, or is that different?
No, you would not be able to log into my channel, even no matter what passwords you have or usernames or anything, because I've got double level login. It's linked with Google. You know, it's my Google.
Oh, okay, okay.
So,
why did you want to know that?
I was just wondering because he gave me. I'm supposed to be one of the hosts now on Talking with Famous People, so he gave me the username and password for GoToMeeting. But I never tried logging in on his channel, but I was just wondering if I wanted to upload something, like how would I upload it?
If you want to do that, then I have to make you a manager. Then you can upload. Okay. And I'm willing to do that if you have something specific you want to upload. But if you think it's just gonna be like, well, let me upload this one thing first, then I'll just either send it to me, you put it in the Dropbox folder. We invite you to that Dropbox folder. I don't know who gets to invite people. I don't know. Somebody.
Okay, because I mean, I wanted to upload the chat that I had with Basement Overlord like 5 weeks ago, except I didn't record it, so.
Well,
yeah, I don't know.
That makes it hard to upload.
Next time.
Yeah. Well, like if you think there's a conversation you have, you can use this room.
Excuse me.
Go ahead. Sorry, casual.
Yeah, because I think it's time for anyway. Diamond, if you go to your documents folder, you will find a bunch of RTF files that says chat log, always open, always recording, always uploading GTN, and next to it you'll find a date. You open the date of that, the time you were here, and you will find the chat there.
Oh really?
The next
just
morning,
because I hosted?
there was still 6 hours of our 18
No,
hours.
you don't need to host it. Just everyone now is recording. It's done automatically, I think. You just go to your documents folder.
Oh, okay.
Diamond, do you want to be invited to the Dropbox so you can post some videos in there?
I don't have any right now, but I'll let you guys know when I do. It's probably going to be in like a month or two because I'm still taking classes right now, so I'm pretty busy. So I'll just have to wait for the winter break. I can do more stuff on here.
Diamond,
give me your email
nothing comes with any expectation.
You can give me your email privately if you click on my name in the to everyone bit, and you can email me and I'll invite you to the Dropbox, so you can do it whenever you want.